You want it to be one way.
What?
You want it to be one way.
Man, I
You
don't
want
know
it
what
to be
you...
one
Man,
way.
stop. Stop saying that.
But it's the other way.
Yeah, gotta aim for the top like hold up. Yeah, I can never doubt myself, I know better. All of you critics be acting like you know better. Blowing the smoke, but I know when it dust settles. My element is everything that was level to the game. All of those dark nights I got then, breaking my back to make it out, got me feeling like rain. I ain't never need your help, I know you wishing me well. A penny for your thoughts, but seeing no change. Snap for the sun like Diddy, the riches got a mad ass son, I'm like Billy. I ain't never switch up, whole team with me, but known for my city like OAGZ. Set the pace as long as you finish. Consumers find a way inside your business. Babble if they try to dabble in it, and they hate the fact that they may have to witness. You tryna aim for the top like this, and you're in your element with a fire like this, and they hoping you fall and they praying you miss, but it's all in the risk. I got you with the switch, you know. I'm in the zone. Give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know. Foot on the gas. 155 on the road. You could be a friend of me, an enemy. Keep that same old energy, cause I know I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. Keep that
You got it figured out, Houston.
I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Flow is like water. I'm forcing the fire. I'm feeling like gold. Gotta stay grounded, stay down to earth. Following God and you grinding, you do as you told. I don't work to make you like me, but I'm front and center, word to Spike Lee. And God came in the nick of time. They think I'm crazy, well I might be. Let's run it up, run it up, run it up. Repeating the odds just to sum it up. You know it's a rap, never waistlines, and I'm cutting the weight like a tummy tuck. That mean I'm about to give it out right now. You see what's coming down the line, I never pipe down. I give 100% and be trying to stun on my enemies. In my element is crazy, it's the mic shine. I'm in the zone. Give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know. 155 on the road. You could be a friend of me, an enemy. Keep that same old energy, cause I know I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. Keep that same energy. I'm in my element. Never switch up. 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 Keep that same energy. I'm in my element.
You want it to be one way.
Man, I
You
don't
want
know
it to
what
be
you...
one
Man,
way.
stop. Stop saying that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we back at it.
But it's the other way.
Facts. Facts, facts, facts. Is my sound coming in clear? Is my sound coming in clear? Is my sound coming in clear? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We lit. We lit. Oh, yeah, with some technical difficulties. The devil's a lie. The devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. I'm trying to tell you. Shout out to my Aki. He know what time it is. He's somewhere in the building, but he know what time it is. I'm blessed, man. I'm surrounded by the best. I'm surrounded by the best, man. So we walked through and we figured it out, man. We back in the building, man. So much to talk about today, of course. Definitely appreciate you guys being patient with me while I was walking through that and moving through that situation. That was a weird one. First time for everything, but we learn and we move on, right? It is fight week, ladies and gentlemen. It is fight week. So you know what we got to do. You see the thumbnail. It's up. It's going down in Cleveland, Ohio. TNT premiere. We got Terrence Bud Crawford commentating on this one. We got so much to talk about, but the fight card is set and ready to go, man. Tomorrow we got the weigh-ins, and on the back of the weigh-ins, we got to fight. We got to fight. And we got a storyline as well, because this one is a good one. This one is a potential great one. On the back end of seeing Xander Zayas and Jerron Boots Ennis put on that showcase delivery on Saturday, here we go with almost a very similar, and I'm going to bring it full circle for us today when we're talking about this, but this is a very, this is the fight we thought we were going to see. How about that? Yeah, how about that? This might be the fight we thought we were going to see on Saturday, even though Saturday was a shootout. But here we go. The big puncher, Abdullah Mason, very similar to Jerome Boots Ennis in different ways. Obviously, Jerome Boots Ennis on another tier as far as experience, as far as what he's able to do. But we've got another one here. And then we've got the boxer, the mover, and Albert Bell. Man, we're actually going to see the fight we thought we was going to see on Saturday. We might see it this Saturday, which is crazy, but that's how it works out, right, in boxing. We got to talk about, man. We got to talk about it. We will talk about it because styles make fights. Styles make fights. Abdullah Mason thought he was going to fight against Joe Cordina. Last minute change. Welcome to the life of a champion, champ. Salute to Abdullah. Welcome to the life of a champion. He gets confronted with the issue. Joe Cordina can't get in the state. He can't get in the country because he got visa issues. Is he going to blow the card and say, listen, I'm not going to take this last minute replacement? Or is he going to just show out? Well, you already know the man has a whole entire shirt line out there. He's got an appetite for smoke. He's got an appetite for smoke. So he wasn't going to turn down no issues. Everybody going to get their issues. How Mike Tyson say, how Abdullah Mason say, call outs is a mandatory. Call outs is a mandatory, man. You know what I mean? It all got something like that. I hope I didn't say it right. I might have messed that up actually. I don't know. All call outs are mandatory, all whatever, bro. Everybody got to get it. Ain't no ducking the smoke. We don't put in a full camp and we going to give this work to somebody. Somebody going to get this work. And on the other side of the conversation, Albert Bell was getting ready to fight a two-time gold medal Olympic dude named Andy Cruz for IBF Eliminator. So Albert Bell was like, oh, man, we could just move the time up 2 weeks. I've been waiting a whole damn year to get a fight, man. Albert Bell's been waiting on the sideline trying to get a shot at the title for over 2 years now. Nobody don't want to fight Albert Bell. We got to talk about it because why? Why doesn't anybody want to fight Albert Bell? Oh, my God, Toledo Treese would say Albert Campagna Bell. Why doesn't anybody want to fight this guy? Abdullah Mason gives him an opportunity on the 4th of July. This one, a debut for TNT. Big show for the zone. Great undercard. He brings his brothers with him. Abdullah Mason ain't just repping himself. He got his brothers with him. They're going to be opening up the card on the prelims. The main event on the card is going to deliver as well. We get to see Scooter Davis do his thing. Y'all know Scooter Davis is up and coming, man. He's up and coming, man, doing his thing, shining, man. You might want to say he's low-key a little protege of Gervonta Tank Davis. So if you're a Tank Davis fan, and listen, not everybody's a Tank Davis fan, but we cannot turn away from who Tank Davis is and what he brings to the table as far as pedigree, as far as that pressure, as far as explosive energy, as far as must-see boxing. Scooter Davis checks all those boxes, man. It looks like he's got an appetite for smoke. He plans on showcasing what he does. We've got another title shot on the card, another title fight on the card with my guy, Bruce Shoo Shoo Carrington. Mr. New York himself will be in the building defending his WBC title. Y'all remember Shoo Shoo. The last time we see Shoo Shoo, he was doing a knockout of the year performance, becoming a WBC champion. And you know Shoo Shoo got more than an appetite for smoke as he's looking to make this fight a statement here because his next step, he's looking for unification. He's trying to get at all the other champions. He's trying to chop down the tall tree of Rafael Espinosa, right? He's trying to chase Angelo. He's chasing Angelo Leo all around the division, right? He's calling for the smoke with Brandon Figueroa. He's doing what he has to do, man. So he's gonna try to make that step up. And of course, we got the main event with Abdullah Mason and Albert Bell. So we got to talk about all that today. We got to talk about Terrence Crawford getting back into boxing. We've seen Terrence Crawford hanging around the boxing space now for a little while. He's going to the events. He's sitting next to Turkey Al-Sheikh. People are trying to pull him back into the game. They want to see him get in the ring with a Jerome Boots Ennis. They want to see him rematch Canelo Alvarez. They want, champ, what about if I give you $100 million? What if I give you? I'm good. I'm retired, man. I'm done with boxing. Or is he? Or is he done with boxing? On the back end of all of that, looks like Terrence Crawford's returning back into boxing, but maybe not in the way everybody thought he would. Who would have ever known Mr. Incognito, Mr. Introvert, right? People used to complain about Terrence Bud Crawford not talking enough, not being as exciting, as animated as, say, a Busta Rhymes, but the real things you get when you bust down the lines, right? That's what Terrence is bringing to the game now, as he's going to be a voice of the people, commentating, from what I understand, a contract with TNT. So he'll be doing this event, and potentially I think he's rolling into the Lamont Roach versus Williams Zepeda event as well. Looks like as far as TNT is concerned. When TNT is in the building, Crawford will be in the building helping with the commentating. We'll talk about that as well. And of course, the panel will cook on it, and we will open that link up and bring up the usual suspects, you guys, to go ahead and give us our 2 cents. While that's happening, man, before we move any further, let me go ahead and bring them up here. One of the 2 co-hosts on the show here. Shout out to my
What up?
we got about the third leg. My guy, Angelo Reyes in the building. Locked in, ready to go. So much to talk about, fellas. You know what I mean? My soliloquy wasn't as long as it usually is because I was all in the zone, guys, getting ready to give my long 20, 30-minute spiel, you know what I mean? Breaking out all this shit. But then my soundboard went left on me. Everything went crazy on me, bro. And I was just, the nerves is on 10, man. So I shook all that. Pause, my bad. I don't know what I said, but I'm sure if King KO for Light said it's pause, I probably ran over real quick. At the end of the day, I wanted to get right into the show, man. So first of all, gentlemen, how are we doing today? How you guys doing? Appreciate y'all patience as well. As I was trying to figure out, Angelo was on here with me like, so your shit's broken?
Brilliant.
He's like, you broke your shit, bro? You broke your shit? Come on, bro. You gotta do better than that. Oh, third leg, no doubt, King KO. I got you on that one. Okay. That's a little. So we reaching a little bit, King KO. We reaching a little bit, but okay, I got you, man. King KO for sure. I got you. Third leg, for sure. No, we got to figure it out, man. We're back on point here. So much to talk about, man. Just watching the press conference. Actually, they had the press conference a little bit earlier, man. Not that exciting of a press conference, you know what I mean? But I think at the end of the day, the fight sells itself. Coming off the back end of this Jaron Boots Ennis and Xander Zayas fight, people have just been killing me. They just swear to God, we just over here Xander Zayas, like this is Xander Zayas channel, right? You know what I mean? This is the Xander Zayas channel, you know what I'm saying? We just over celebrating Xander, you know what I'm saying? We still talking about Xander? What's wrong? What about Boots? I don't know. It is what it is. But stylistic clash here we're talking about. When we thought about Xander Zayas and Jaron Boots Ennis fighting, we thought about this boxer, mover, guy who's going to use his feet, you know what I'm saying? Really forcing Jaron Boots Ennis to go into his bag and show him prove in a way that maybe he didn't have an opportunity to do when he fought against Karen, because he showed some frustration there. He showed like just a little bit of just, if there was a weakness anywhere in it, outside of people saying that he gets hit, you know what I mean, a little too much, people may say that maybe the boxer would have gave him some issues. But Xander didn't give us that fight, right? That's not the fight he gave us. He decided to be in the phone booth and show out the way he decided to show out. Well, here we go this weekend on the back of a last-minute a replacement here because Joe Cordina couldn't make it happen. He couldn't get over here on his visa. We got Albert Bell, the quintessential boxer, right? Sometimes puncher, mover, long arms, right? Tall, bigger than Abdullah Mason in some ways. He doesn't have longer arms than Abdullah Mason, though. People think, you know, I mean, go look at the stats. Actually, Abdullah Mason's arms are longer, but Abdullah Mason's probably going to have to cut that ring off on this one here. He's going to have to figure it out. Albert Bell will be scoring. He'll be catching and shooting. He'll be making Abdullah Mason miss. He'll be touching him, and he'll be trying to take those rounds away from Abdullah Mason and take him to the full probably 12 rounds here. And the lion's share of 12 rounds is probably more than likely what Albert Bell's going to be looking to do. Abdullah Mason obviously trying to violate all that, cross that void, right? And we got to talk about how he gets there and how he's going to look. This is the Giovanni Cabrera 2.0. This is the fight I wanted to see him in before he became champion. But unfortunately, it comes, you know, it's never when you want it to come. It's always on time. What do you think about this fight, Angelo, going to this fight right now in this last-minute replacement? What do you see on the table here for Abdullah?
Yeah, you know, last-minute replacements could always be an issue, right, Clay? Mm-hmm. So by the way, am I echoing or is that on you? Is that on, I don't know why.
I don't hear no echo.
Oh, okay, perfect. I just want to make sure. So yeah, last minute replacements are always tough because Abdullah Mason was preparing for someone who is Joe Cordina, not the same style as an Albert Bell. Albert Bell, when you saw him stand in front of on the face-to-face, so much taller. If you guys were familiar with the 28-0, 9 knockout Albert Bell, he's closer to how Albert Puello fights I would say he's more like an Albert Puello. And I say that because he has some sting on his punches. I've seen him hurt people, right?
Facts.
He just doesn't like, his thing is, if I hurt you, I'm just going to continue to stay to my game plan.
Right.
I'm just going to continue to box. I'm not going after you. I'm not going off the page. And 28-0 is 28-0. He's got a huge fan following, so it's not like
and avoided, right? For some reason,
very avoided,
and avoided.
very avoided. But that's, I mean, again, that's the sanctioning space world, right? In the sanctioning space world, there's crafty ways of avoiding it. Now, I have heard, I don't know if this is to be true or not, that Abdullah Mason did choose to do this.
100%. That's what Abdullah Mason said.
Right.
That's what Albert Bell's trainer or manager said. He said, we reached out when they found out about the cancellation. They reached out to Abdullah Mason's team and they showed interest in the fight. And Abdullah Mason and his father, they came together and they thought about it and they said, yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it for the city. So this is not, Abdullah Mason's going into this confident. He thinks he can handle this. He feels like he understands what this math problem. He's seen this before. And he feels like he can deliver the win.
Right. I mean, part of it for me too that I like about it is, let's go with that narrative, that is the true narrative. Then I like that Abdullah Mason I think he's now 22. I like that at 22, he's having that mentality of, yeah, man, this is going to be in the city. We're going to sell this place out. The tickets, Carl Moretti said the tickets were priced to sell. So you got a sold out event. It's on cable TV I can't even remember the last time we had a cable TV fight. There's 2 cable channels that's showing it. True TV is showing it, and also TNT, which is where the NBA used to be, is showing it. Right. So that's going to get a lot of eyes. It's 4th of July. So if you're not going to go watch fireworks, you're going to be inside the house anyways, then you're going to be watching this boxing event. So I don't know how, 1 million, 2 million. I guess we're going to find out what it is. But what's the worst case scenario? Worst case scenario, Abdullah Mason loses to Albert Bell. Albert Bell's an undefeated 28-0 fighter who, as Toledo Teresa said, Shakur Stevenson's been ducking him, like all these, whatever, right? Like a lot of people feel like he's been an avoided fighter. If that is the worst case scenario, then there should be an automatic rematch clause, and that'll work out. Best case scenario, Abdullah Mason puts on a show, first person to possibly stop Albert Bell on television, on all these platforms. Now we got a megastar, right? Now we have somebody who, dare I say, Clay, more eyes will probably watch this fight than they would the Jaron Ennis one. Probably got more highlight replays. But I'm talking about live watches. Let's wait for the pay-per-view numbers, but they didn't hit the number they wanted. And a lot of people said if this was, including, by the way, Ariel Helwani, he said the problem with the Jaron Ennis Xander Zayas fight is
I remember him saying
it was behind the paywall, right? So it's not Angelo Reyes messing with the zone. This is Ariel Helwani telling you guys that you have a paywall on top of another paywall. You have to be a subscriber in the zone, and then you have to pay $75. So there's less eyeballs on an amazing classic fight. This one, completely free, Clay. Completely free. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. How about you, Ray Davis?
You're definitely muted. Your sound's off.
You right about that. Okay.
All right.
Another technical difficulty moment for the team. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, man, definitely right about that, man. Listen, can't wait to see Shushu back in the ring. We're getting Scooter Davis up there. So we're gonna have some good undercard bouts, but I can't wait for the main event. I mean, Albert Bell, who definitely moved from the Cuban fighter and Andy Cruz to go fight Abdullah Mason. Great action. Unfortunately, Cordina had his legal trouble, so that made the move happen. But I can't wait for this because I see the fact that that Abdullah Mason is going to be in a fight with a guy that he knows, a best friend at that, a guy who's cool. He's cool with no shots taken, no shots fired. I'm just letting you know. You know what I mean? But
that's always a good thing. You know what I mean?
They breaking bread together, which is a good thing. You know what I mean? So I love the fact that this is happening. I love the fact that there's going to be some obstacles to be in the way for Abdullah Mason, which a lot of people are underestimating the fact that just because they sparred, they haven't fought. It's a big difference. And we're going to see with a short time notice how does Abdullah Mason, who's been training for 4 or 5 weeks for Joe Cordina, has to go back into the drawing board and then change everything up for Albert Bell with 2-week notice. Albert Bell, who's probably just training for Andy Cruz and sees the slickness, so he's already going to be on his abilities. I think his opponent was more closer than to Abdullah Mason, even though Abdullah Mason is not really a puncher and a slick fighter. But I think he was more towards Albert Bell's opponent, rather than Albert Bell being closer to Abdullah's opponent. So I think we're going to see definitely something different. The only thing I think they have in common is the height. Albert Bell and Joe Cordina both being a little taller than Abdullah, but this is going to be something to watch out for. It could slow the fight down for Abdullah. I think the jab's going to be the issue. I think Abdullah has the reach advantage, but I think Albert Bell is going to use his range. He's going to try to sit outside of range and tee off when he can and look for the overhand right coming in. I see this fight 100% because of the difference in height, because of the skill sets on both fighters. Floyd versus Chico is very similar. Tall fighter, with a guy that's a champion coming up, or not coming up, but a champion, and they're fighting, even though Chico was a champ. But I see a similar way this goes. I just think that Albert Bell has a good chance to upset this fight.
No, he definitely does have a good chance to upset this fight. And, there's history also here. Obviously, we talked about that relationship, about them being cool with each other. But, more important than being cool with each other means that there's some familiarity there because they've sparred. They sparred a lot, and they spent time in the ring with each other. So there is an understanding. Both guys know what to expect from each other. They know what goes on. But sparring's not boxing, right? Sometimes in the gym, maybe Albert Bell might come in here a little confident because he might feel like he's seen Abdullah Mason, in his most dangerous element, right? When, usually in that sparring with the head gear gets kind of rough in there, doghouse rules, right? It kind of goes left, it kind of goes crazy. But I would say this, though. I would say that Abdullah Mason gets an opportunity. Let me ask this to you guys. Do you believe Abdullah Mason was preparing, coming off the back end of that Sam Noakes fight? He came off and he said, you know what? I got to admit, I got hit too much. Very similar. That's another story. I don't want to keep going back to Jerron Buchanan and Xander Zayas, but Jerron did have a moment of clarity here in this fight with Xander Zayas, and it looks like all of a sudden he kind of wants to address that situation. But Abdullah Mason definitely took a lot of shots in that Sam Noakes fight. Do you think he was preparing to be more of a boxer, more of a mover, more of a hit, not get hit approach on the back end of that very rough fight of the year candidate fight he had with Sam Noakes? What do you think Abdullah Mason was preparing himself to be rolling into this fight now with Albert Bell?
Go ahead, Angel.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, look, first of all, again, and this is, I just want to make sure I set this table right. Abdullah Mason was preparing the whole time for a Joe Cordina. Now, hopefully, Abdullah Mason was just so talented that he was just working on his game.
Well, that's my kind of question, right? For Joe Cordina, what was that?
Yeah.
What do you believe he was preparing to?
Yeah, no,
like
I understand.
Joe Cordina.
Yeah, no, I was just setting up my answer.
Okay.
I was setting up the table. I knew the question.
Okay.
So anyways, so here you are, you're a fighter, and let's say the team sitting there going, they study Joe Cordina. Hey, here's what we want you to do this time around, rather than trying to get in a war like you did with Sam Noakes when you got hit. You chose to do the smoke. We want you to outbox a little bit. Now, all of a sudden, 17 days before, they're telling you, hey, man, we're going to switch to someone taller, lengthy, moves backwards, uses the jab, moves away. So now you're like, all right, I was practicing one way, but now how do you want me to do this one, right? And honestly, again, I hope that with Terrence Crawford being a part of the telecast, he will do a good job of educating the casual viewers that they're going to see a very tactical combat. Because I don't think it's a good idea for Abdullah Mason to do Abdullah Mason stuff. Like, I'm going to come forward. I'm going to try to attack Albert Bell. because that's Albert Bell's thing. And again, we've heard in the industry that Albert Bell gave him some difficult times during sparring
In the gym.
Now,
Yeah.
in the gym. Now, having said that, it's sparring, man. I don't want. How do I know Abdullah Mason was really trying? Or how do I don't mean it that way, but what if in Abdullah Mason's corner they were saying, "Hey, Abdullah, on this next round against Albert Bell, we only want you to use this and this," very limited playbooks, and instead of in a full fight, guys. When you're watching a full boxing match, at least from my experience, having been in there, having coached all these people, it's problem solving in real time. You get hit, then you got to problem solve. And everything in your head is happening within a 10-second frame. So I'm wondering, Albert Bell, I'm confident that in the 28 fights he's done, guys, that he knows what to do. Abdullah Mason, I saw what he was supposed to do against Sam Noakes, and instead it turned into a war. So can he make sure that he does the right moves, guys, to win every round? Because at the end of the day, you still want to have the belt in your waist when they say, and the new or and the still. So hopefully he doesn't fall for it, man. Hopefully he doesn't fall for it.
I mean, I don't think this is about him falling for something, because I don't think Albert Bell's going to be trying to drag him into a fight, right? The way Sam Noakes was pulling him into a fight. He wanted to be a shootout. So Abdullah is going to be looking for a fight and not getting a fight. You know what I mean? And he, that patience and that poise he's going to have when it comes to that. This goes back to, this could potentially look like I said, I keep bringing up the Boots and the Xander Zayas fight, right? But on the back end of that, I'll go a little further back and go Boots Karen, right? The frustration from an Abdullah Mason trying to cut the ring off, because this fight, it can go one of two ways, right? Because I've watched a couple of Albert Bell fights. He has fights where he's stepping, where he's almost looking like a Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? Where he's still controlling the range, right? He's not jumping in and collapsing the pocket, but he is stepping. He is stalking and applying pressure, forcing his opponent to let his hands go so that he can counterpunch, so he can catch and shoot and do all these different things. Albert Bell knows what he's dealing with when he gets in the ring with Abdullah Mason. He's been inside of the ring with him, so he understands. Now, I would say that Abdullah Mason looks like he operates in a space better where it's instincts, where it's kind of almost like a Jerron Boots Ennis type of situation, right? So Jerron Boots Ennis operates well in that extreme pressure. I don't have to think about it. I'm just going off my reflexes. What I feel is what I do. I let my hands go. You know what I mean? Abdullah Mason is kind of like he's what's the word I'm looking for? He's like a raw Jerron Ennis, right? Where Jerron Ennis is more of has a skill set to operate in the madness. He operates in the confusion. He's calm and collected, and he's doing what he wants to do. Whereas Abdullah Mason is still a reactor. He's still a young bull. He gets hit, he wants to get his hit back. You know what I'm saying? You punch on him, he wants to punch on you back. But still, Abdullah Mason, I think, has shown and proven that he operates well in those circumstances. I mean, he even did that well with Sam Noakes, even though he got hit. And look, I would say Sam Noakes is a harder puncher than Albert Bell, right? So if they did get into that type of a situation, Abdullah Mason, I think, knows how, the power of Albert Bell. So he might not really trip about getting into trading with him, but he knows the capabilities. You know what Albert Bell is capable of. He knows Albert Bell could probably sit with him, fight him on the inside, move, catch, and shoot. But at the same time, he knows that he can get on his legs, use his movement, and get out the way, and then he's gonna have to cut that ring off and find Albert Bell. Now, Albert Bell is also under the lights here in his city. Well, not in his city. He's from Toledo. These guys are gonna be in Cleveland. There's gonna be some onus on these guys to deliver a certain kind of performance for the home team, right? For the crowd. This is Abdullah Mason's home crowd. This is an Ohio fight for Albert Bell. Albert Bell's been, somewhat frozen out of the championship conversation. So he knows on the back end of this fight, he may never get another shot again. Right? He might go back to the back of the list. So he knows how important this fight is. There's a chance that this fight can be a fight of the year candidate based on what's on the line here for Abdullah Mason to become a star. He worked all the way up. I mean, getting the belt was one thing, but I would have to say that this is his moment here, right? Where it's like, yeah, I got the belt, but being a champion in my homecoming, this is what we worked for. The city's behind me. I've been at these Cavalier games. I've been at these Cleveland Indian game, baseball games. I've been moving all around the place, getting all this advertisement. Top Ranks put a lot of faith into me. I finally got there. I'm finally here, getting ready to be a star. And Albert Bell's like, I thought I was never going to get this opportunity. The closest I was going to get to it was fighting a tough-ass fight against a two-time gold medalist Olympian in Andy Cruz for an eliminator, not even for a fight, for an opportunity to get at a title fight. He's not going to let this go. I'll send it to Ray Davis. Me saying all of that, right? Me putting all of that in the air here. What kind of fight are you anticipating seeing here with all this on the line?
Super mid-range fight, bro. Albert Bell's going to try to control the distance. I think I mentioned that. But let me just say this. About 8 months ago, I remember a guy sitting in the panel to my right telling me, asking Toledo Treese, yo, are we going to get this fight in Cleveland? I remember this question about 8 months ago. Am I mistaken? Okay, we got it, right? So what it's going to take for this fight to really go the way I think it's going to go is I think Abdullah Mason is a person that actually runs and smothers his own work. He's been doing it in a lot of fights. I mean, we can go back to what's his name, Corrales or whatever his name is, the dude with the weird freaking shag in the back.
Johan Gonzalez, Johan,
yeah, something weird. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So he ran into that guy, and that guy also kept him in the pocket. When it seems like things get hot for Abdullah Mason, you mentioned it, Clay. He decides to turn into a world beater. Like he gets in there, he wants to get in the phone booth a lot, and I've watched him close the distance, smother his mid range, and he starts punching on the inside. He's a great puncher on the inside, by the way. He has good counters. He has good hooks. He has good body work when he's on the inside. What happens when you got a guy that can actually make you shoot your range and counter that shot by making you punch? That's the question. That's what leads into this whole point of Albert Bell and Abdullah Mason. Does the belt change hands? I don't know. Can it change hands? Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised. I am betting on Abdullah Mason to win. Because I feel that he's the champion, you got to take it from him. But I see this really going tough for Abdullah Mason. I think he's going to have a lot of situations where he's going to have to think, and they're going to have to reset the button for him. He can't get into his emotions. He can't get into that fiery spirit. Like, I got to get this guy back. He hit me with a pop shot. He's got to stay focused. He's got to stay on the perimeter. He's got to use his jab, which he has a longer reach. So he has to do what he has to do. If he cannot do that, bye-bye belt. Hello, Albert Bell. Welcome to the championship world. And hopefully we'll get a good fight.
Yeah, for me, my saying, man, make sure you leave the party with who took you to the dance. And even when we were talking about Jerron Boots Ennis fighting Xander, and we were talking about all these precautions he might need to take. And one thing we ended the show with, when we ended that show that day, the pre-show, I said, don't listen to us. You know what I'm saying? Definitely do what you do. Who you are, be who you are. And I think it's important that Abdullah Mason stays true to his identity, but he definitely wants to, where he feels listen, he just came off that Sam Noakes fight. That fight right there is a fight. That was a solid 12 rounds. He gets to go back, watch that. He won that belt, but he knew he got hit too much. So there's a lot of adjustments that I'm looking to see from Abdullah Mason. Right, Angelo? I would say, if this guy, you're his coach, on the back end of that victory, you're like, we're champions, that's great, but we going to work. We got work to do because ain't no more tune-ups, ain't no more get ready fights. You're a champion now. Everybody coming to get you, and you got hit too much in that fight, respectfully. You know what I mean? We were able to pull it out, but we got to work on. So I'm expecting to see Abdullah Mason with a lot of adjustments, but at the same exact time, Angelo, the fighter, what you got. You don't want him to just completely flip the script. You want to keep who he is, because who he is who he is. So there's going to be a balance here, and there's going to be some adjustments here. But for the most part, we want to see the Abdullah Mason. We don't want to be unfamiliar with Abdullah Mason, right? We don't want to see Abdullah Mason and at the end of the fight say, who the hell was that guy?
Right. And again, this is where, you're making such a great point, Clay, because this is where you're coaching a young fighter. Okay, it wasn't that long ago, ladies and gentlemen, that Abdullah Mason got knocked down twice in the first round. That wasn't like forever ago. All right, that just happened. now his first world title fight, he's got appetite for smoke, just like his nickname. Great. Sam Noakes was a real test, right? 28 years old, 29, I think. Like a veteran, had a great amateur background. Toe to toe, he wins 7 rounds to 5. If he had made too many more mistakes, he could have lost that fight, right? Wins in Riyadh. Great job. That was in November. If I'm in the training team, I'm like, Joe Cordina is the perfect next fight because it's not that far away from what we just fought. And now I can take everything I was teaching this kid and I could be like, see how little tweak here, little tweak there. When your brain's saying, go the A pathway, I want you to go the B pathway. And then all of a sudden you tell me, oh, hey, Angelo, not only are you not fighting Joe Cordina, you're fighting this dude that's completely opposite, right? Tall, rangy, moving backwards. So now you're asking me, coaching and Abdullah Mason, all right, man, we're going to go back to what we know overall, what I know your abilities are, what I know what you could do, but I don't need you to change up who you are, right? And then I only got like 2 weeks to really prepare too, right? So then I'd be like, hey, man, you've sparred him before. You know what you're seeing. Little tweak here, little tweak there. But what we got to do on this game, and Ray Davis will like this, is going to be a baseball analogy. What we got to do on this game is not make any mistakes with our pitches. We got a Greg Maddux, this guy. We got a Greg Maddux, Albert Bell. I don't need you to throw the 100-mile-an-hour fastball. What I need you to do is be you, right? I need you to just be like, you throw a curve here, you throw a breaking ball there. I don't need you to throw a lot of heat, because that's what'll happen is if you throw too much heat. Albert Bell can sting. I've seen him knock people down. You got knocked down by Johan No Hair Vasquez, right? So, I don't need that in my life. Yeah. I don't need that in my life. I don't need you to get knocked down in the first round and then we're coming from behind. We got to pitch a Greg Maddux perfect style game. We're going to do it with your style. I know you can do it. So height won't be the issue. You've already sparred this guy. We know how he likes to hit the ball. Let's just stay grounded. But like to your point, Clay, let us not all of a sudden overthink this shit. We don't got time to overthink this shit. You just got to be Abdullah Mason and let it be what it is. And let's go for it. But let's be Abdullah Mason with no mistakes. No, don't go hanging a curveball. Don't go throwing a fastball to a fastball hitter, man. Let's just do this the right way.
And the familiarity is there, right? They are familiar with, they know each other. So there's some comfort in that, right? Just saying as a trainer and with your fighter, and you sat there and you've had Albert Bell in the gym with you. Ohio is not a big city. And recently too, you had Albert Bell in the ring with you inside of the last year. He was in the ring with you. So, the nerves shouldn't be crazy. You had an opportunity to turn it away. They called you directly. Albert Bell did, which means you could have went another way. You can I think I'm going to have my matchmakers figure it out. I don't think I want to fight you, without a full camp. You're literally preparing to fight Andy Cruz. So it shows that there's some confidence there. Now, we saw Xander's eyes show confidence as well, picking the Boots fight, right? And we saw how that ended up going. So that doesn't necessarily promise anything, but Abdullah Mason has the reach advantage here. I did want to take a moment here just to compare here. Joe Cordina, they prepared for a 5'9" Joe Cordina who had a 69-inch arm reach, right?
Which is that's a 10-inch difference, or almost like it's because Abdullah, I think, is 74-inch, right? So maybe a 6-inch difference.
Right. Abdullah Mason's on a 74-inch, but he's 5'9" as well. So he gives up the height here because Albert Bell comes in 6 foot tall, right? He comes in 6 foot tall, but Abdullah, amazingly enough, doesn't give up the reach. So that's a good thing. He understands what Albert Bell can do, but I've seen Albert Bell hurt people as well. And I've heard Albert Bell has hurt Abdullah Mason in camps. I've heard he's hurt him. So Albert Bell should come into this fight confident as well and say, man, I know him better than you guys know him. Abdullah looks like he needs to prepare for either way. Albert Bell can choose the box, fight completely different than how they fought in the gym, because if he hurt Abdullah Mason, for me means it probably was getting some doghouse rules, right? Like it probably was running in. Albert Bell was standing his ground. If Albert Bell's team is going to approach this on a cerebral level, on a chess, not checkers level, they might want to completely switch up things, right, against Abdullah Mason. Like, no, we're not fighting like that. We're fighting like this. Force Abdullah Mason to do the thing that we've never seen him do before. Cut that ring off, right? Cut the ring off. Get after the athletic mover. Touch that body. And if Abdullah is going to do that, then he's going to cut that ring off, reach for that body. And I've seen Albert Bell has bad habits as well. One of his bad habits that I've noticed with him is he's so used to being taller than everybody he fights with, he stands a little high. That chin's in the air a lot. When he's backing up out of these locations, his chin is a little high. You gotta think to yourself, Abdullah Mason and especially his father, let's put it on his father at a minimum, right? Notices that, right? And Abdullah Mason is coming into this a southpaw. So it will be the southpaw on with the orthodox. I've noticed Albert Bell backs that chin up, right? His lead hand gets a little low. It gets a little low. And if it gets a little low, I'm thinking we're going to see some check right hooks. Some, you know what I'm saying? Some work to the body, some straight left hands to the body, but look out for the check right hook to come over the top and catch Albert Bell. What do you think about that?
Issue I have with that is the fact that Abdullah Mason doesn't do that from a distance. He waits till he closes distance to use that check hook, which most people should, but you know what I mean, he doesn't do it from like a mid-range. He actually gets inside the box when he uses those hooks most of the time. I'm not going to say all the time. And being that there's a height differential, you know what I mean, he's definitely going to have to close distance to make that work. The other thing I wanted to point out.
But do you think he's going to have to, what I'm saying is, right, he has the reach, right?
Right. Yeah.
He's not going to jump. You don't want to do no leaping hooks.
Well,
what I see, where I see Albert Bell exposes himself is once Abdullah gets in there, Albert Bell's reflex is to back out. And when he backs out with his chin in the air. Yeah. So right in that situation, when he crosses that void, touches that body, he can instinctively just come up with that check right hook and catch Albert Bell on the way out this way, right? Because his instinct is to back out like this every time.
If he times it right, yes. Excuse me. Yeah, I think absolutely that's it's a great approach. It's something that can happen. It's a part of boxing, right? So we just have to see what Albert Bell was working on. Like I said, it depends what he was working on for the Andy Cruz fight, because I think Andy Cruz throws a lot of overhands too. So I mean, that's why I said it depends on who was preparing for who. Preparing for Joe Cordina was not preparing for Albert Bell. Preparing for Andy Cruz is more likely preparing for Abdullah Mason.
I got you, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So It's not much difference on that side of the street. Now, this is what I wanted to point out. We only have one 12-round fight with Abdullah Mason. He had to dog it out, right? He's been 8 rounds the most. This guy, Albert Bell, has been fighting 10-round fights for maybe 2 years now. So another thing is if he can drag Abdullah Mason to deep waters, that's another thing we can look into. See how the campaign works there. Because if he goes body campaign on Abdullah Mason, does that affect Abdullah Mason? That's something to look forward to as well. Now, to your point, Clay, yes, that chin is going to be there and able to be hit if he allows it to be hit. If he knows how to turn and move out to his right, he won't be there for it, even if he does have his chin up. If he gets out to his right and slips right as he's backing out.
Right. If he's aware and he's conscious and he stops backing straight out like he normally does. Right. But we're creatures of habits as well, right?
Right.
That's the thing about it, right? Like, especially once you, like Mike Tyson said, everybody got a game plan until they get punched in the face. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of shit go out the door. I mean, Angelo, you know what I mean? Abdullah has to cross his void, man. He has to cross the void, and he can't allow this dude to get on his legs and get on his bicycle and turn this into a, rabbit, you know what I mean? The fox chasing the rabbit or whatever have you, you know what I'm saying? The fox chasing the rooster, you know what I mean? Or the chicken. Like, we can't make this into this fight. We got to cut this ring off. We got to get this fight under control pretty early. I mean, I'm expecting a body campaign, right? I'm expecting Abdullah to want to take those wheels from underneath Albert Bell. Like, I don't want you moving around too much. I want you to stay right in here with me. And I'm expecting him to take advantage of whatever I'm expecting their sparring to produce a certain amount of confidence in between both of these guys that I think could end up being a fight of the year candidate. I think these guys can end up showing up. Combine that with the Ohio thing, the TNT thing, the opportunity, the stage. We always talk about the stage makes it. We talk about Riyadh and how I don't care what the fighters look like outside of Riyadh. When they get in Riyadh, they get on that stage. They know the difference. It's intimate, but they know how important this fight is. They know what the money's in the building looking at them. They know that they're getting looked at, and their next opportunity could be their best opportunity if they show up and show out on this stage right now, right? So taking all that into consideration as a trainer, how are you moving forward with this?
Yeah, no, I mean, I hope for everybody who's going to get a chance to watch all of this, I hope what you guys get is what Clay's talking about. Possibly because they've sparred each other, possibly because they know each other. There's not really a length difference in terms of reach. So hopefully it's just an elevated version of the sparring with 8-ounce gloves and Ohio, Albert Bell's people are there. Abdullah Mason's people are there. It's priced to sell out, sold out crowd. It's for the city. We doing it for the city. I hope you guys get that type of fight. Again, there is the business side of boxing, Clay, which is, hey man, I don't need you to win pretty. I just need you to win this one so we can go on to the next one. So it is possible that it could be so tactical that thank goodness that Terrence Crawford is there. This will be his debut as an actual Roy Jones, George Foreman, Andre Ward type. And hopefully he can explain to the casual fans what they're watching so that they don't get bored. But I'm going to give you a fight that is that I can see. And I was just looking at the odds. Maybe you guys can tell me if you're finding better odds on this. But across the board, it's looking like plus 500 pretty much across the board is what you can get for Albert Bell, right? So that means I put in 100, I get back 600, right?
Right.
It's not a bad bet, man, because I seem to remember the same type of odds happening in this fight. You'll remember this, Ray Davis. Vernon Forrest versus Shane Mosley. It's Sugar Shane Mosley was highly hyped, right? And Vernon Forrest is tall, lengthy, use the jab. Kind of. So when you're saying you're expecting a body campaign for Abdullah Mason, Clay, as a trainer, I'm thinking, how do we make it effective? Because Albert Bell knows how to fight people who are going to come at him to try to attack his body. If you watch a lot of his fights, he doesn't get hit in the body a lot, right? Now he hasn't fought anyone the level of Abdullah Mason. At the same time, you have to be creative about how you do it. So it's going to be I think the battle is more about ring position, how much of the acreage of the ring you're able to actually establish from your opponent, right? And footwork, Clay, the inside, outside foot, man, because here's Albert Bell. He's going to use a heavy jab. Right. Can Abdullah be quick enough to step outside and then as the jabs come in, boom, body shot, right? It's not about...
And then follow it up. Because you got to think to yourself, Albert Bell is not going to be easy to get like that. So when you get him, you want to capitalize, right? You want to do something with it. You don't want to just stab him and just score. You want to be like, I got in here, I touched him there. How do we follow that up?
Right. And what you don't want is what happens with fighters who know each other well, too, right? This happens because you're sparring each other. So then you already have these
example, Lamont Tank.
Well, okay. But what you don't want is these unspoken agreements happening in a live fight. In a live fight, it's got to just be, hey man, I'm here to beat your ass. You're here to beat my ass. So there's a lot of mental games, right? Like maybe we don't, this a lot of times, again, you don't want the grabbings happening or, oh man, yeah, good hit. Like I don't want to, no, bro. I want your best. I want you guys to come at each other. So to me, it'll be interesting. And I mentioned the bet thing again, Clay, because kind of hard not to put some money on it, given that have you guys, Ray, Clay, have you guys seen anyone at all that Abdullah's shown you that he's handled someone like Albert Bell close?
No.
Well, listen, I also want to say this, right? Albert Bell hasn't gotten in front of too many real opponents. He's got a good record. He's undefeated, but his record isn't really filled with a bunch of killers. He hasn't really been up there. He hasn't been in the ring with the highest level of fighters. I mean, without a doubt, 100% hands down, Andy Cruz is going to be the best fighter he ever got into the ring with. And I think on the back end of that, Abdullah Mason may be the most dangerous fighter he's ever been in the ring with. So 8-ounce gloves, I don't look on Albert Bell's record here and say to myself, oh, this dude has experience like that. He has experience as far as he's been in the ring, and he has rounds for sure because he's not knocking everybody out. But in reality, what has Albert Bell really done in his career to really, garner that much respect? So, you know what I mean? To the point where it's like, this is Albert Bell Abdullah. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, does Abdullah Mason and his team have how impressed were they? I mean, he got hurt in there, right? He's a young guy. He's been hurt in the sparring. He's putting it all. He got an appetite for smoke, but he's coming off the back end of the hardest fight. Sam Noakes he went 12 rounds with Sam Noakes. He didn't go a hard 3 rounds, a hard 2 rounds, a hard 4 or 5 rounds. He went a hard 12 rounds with Sam Noakes.
Right.
Please. Yesterday's price ain't today's price. Whatever they did in that sparring gym, it's got to be different at this point. Abdullah Mason is a different fighter, right?
No, I believe you on that, Clay, because you're talking about the scars of war, right? Like what we've seen recently is Abdullah Mason's been in a war. And what you're saying is, what war have we seen Albert Bell in? Albert Bell might find himself in a war type because it was much easier for Albert Bell to do all of that to the 28 fighters that weren't the level of Abdullah Mason. But now he's meeting a person who's younger, every bit as fast, may possibly be faster, has a longer reach than him too, and has already sparred him. So that means the fear factor's gone, Clay. Abdullah is not scared of Albert Bell. Right. So now it's exactly what you're saying, which is why, again, there's so many questions to this. Ray Davis, it's 50-50.
I'm looking at the same thing Clay looking at.
Here's the boxer, right? I just want to be clear, right? His last fighter, 16-2, right? Took him to unanimous decision. The fighter before that, 24-7, took him to unanimous decision. Then Jonathan Romero, 35-2. He stops him in the first round. He caught him. And, those first round knockouts don't really impress me that much. I'll be honest with you, because that stuff happens. It's not like you were beating the crap out of this guy. The fight before that, he fought against Jason Velez, 30 wins, 11 losses. He TKOs him in the second round, right? I mean, look at the 11-2, 20-4, 20-2, 18-11, 32-14, 15-2, 20-4, 23, 23-4. He had a 22-0 guy that he took the full 10 rounds here and got a decision very close. You look at that scorecard, 97, 93, 90 across the board. It was a competitive fight. 10-6 after that. Before that, 16-8, 19-14, 19-13. This dude isn't out here fighting no killers, right? Yeah. I mean, like, this dude ain't doing that. So, I mean, yeah, he's got a record, but is his record really overstating who he really is?
And you know what's so funny that you say that, Clay, because as I was looking at it, what came to mind? You're going to laugh, don't laugh. Yes, you're going to laugh. We're coming to the conclusion of the same thing that we were talking about with Jaron Boots Ennis at his first 23 fights versus Xander's first 23 fights, as we're doing the math. So, yes, he has fought these guys. He's gotten comfortable with that, but he hasn't fought anybody on the level of a Sam Noakes. Whereas Abdullah Mason, I think his hardest fight before Sam Noakes was a guy that Rolly fought, Jaime's, right? Or maybe the guy that put him down, Juan Hector, whatever his name is, with the freaking bald shag that put him down twice. We don't know. You know what I mean? Like, we don't really have a lucrative opponent, because at the same time, I'm looking at both these fighters, and you can pull them up. Any of these fighters that they fought, a lot of these guys are super lightweights that were brought down to fight these guys. They're not even like they're in their weight division. So these guys also are super lightweights. A lot of them that Albert Bell fought, and the same thing with
that part too.
And the same thing with Abdullah Mason in a sense too. So it's kind of hard to really go into the if and ands, but I got it. You're right. Abdullah Mason, better resume, more things to deal with, and more pressures on his shoulder.
For sure, Albert Bell's been campaigning the lion's share of his career at one. Earlier in his career, he fought some heavier fights, but for the most part, he's been fighting at 130. You know what I mean? So he's going to be a taller dude, but he's going to be a smaller dude. Abdullah Mason's more acclimated to the division. There's an argument already that Abdullah Mason could go to 140 as is. You know what I'm saying? He can go to 140. So he's going to be a bigger dude, strong, longer reach, stronger, bigger puncher. There might not supposed to be as many issues as we think it is. We'll wait for the fight, obviously, to really land the plane on what we think about this. I think it's a great test for Abdullah Mason. I think he needs a boxer on his resume. You guys know how I feel about the Giovanni Cabrera fight that didn't happen. I feel like that was a big disservice to him. This fight right here should check the boxes on that. And Abdullah Mason, on the back of a great performance here, he becomes an even more well-rounded fighter. He's been in there with the bigger puncher, and Sam Noakes went 12 rounds. Obviously, we know what he can do in the right ideal situation. He's putting people to sleep. He's got that, but once again, Jaron Ennis energy about him, where you just don't expect people to make it out the fight when they fight him. but he gets in the ring here with Albert Bell and does what he needs to do. I think he has a chance. This is a big stage for him. 4th of July in his home city. I mean, this is an important stage. He puts away Albert Bell. He cleans it up. He runs Ohio after that. WP 3636 with the $2 says, why would Abdullah's team take this fight? I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm even more confident about it, is the fact that they took the fight. I think they know exactly what they're dealing with, and I think they believe they're going to be able to check the boxes real quick on him. I wouldn't be shocked, to be honestly, to see Albert Bell get put out inside of 5 rounds. I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't be shocked at all to see that, because they have that familiarity with each other. They know who they're getting in the ring with. Lance Shepard with the $5 says, I'm in my 18-wheeler, tuned in, Clay. Ray Davis, Coach Lowe. Hashtag keep punching. No doubt. Salute, man. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, but okay, so look, man, let's go into the other fight on this card, right? Hold on one second here. Let's go into the other fight on this card. We got my guy Bruce, man. Shushu Carrington, man. Last fight against Carlos Castro, man. Knockout of the year. This back in January of this year. This will be his second fight this year. First title defense around the corner, not in New York, but Ohio's not too far from New York. He gets to show up and show out. He's been waiting on his opportunity to become a champion for so long. He's finally a champion. He gets to defend his title for the first time here, and he has a gained opponent in front of him, Rene Palacio. What do we know about Rene Palacio? He's an undefeated fighter, Angelo. What do we know about him?
Yeah, no, Pro Box. If you guys want to check him out, Pro Box. I don't like. I'm really happy that Shushu's getting a chance to have a type of fighter that, based on what we just saw him do in New York in January on the undercard of Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson, that he should like really look good against. Having said that, we just watched a Tehran put to sleep Floyd Diaz. Now, again, not the same comparison. I just want to remind everyone again that he got an undefeated Mexican in Zurdo Palacios. Zurdo Palacios, right?
Zurdo, right?
Okay. You guys should check out his last Pro Box fight, which was a kind of a war, split decision. This was in January. So him and Shushu fought on that same weekend. So that means that there's no rust. He's undefeated. You know, Mexican fighter. The pride's going to be there. He's going to walk into this fight with, I got everything to gain and nothing to lose. So really, man, I expect that one to actually be a fight of the night. I expect that one to be a banger, because Shushu's not the type of guy who's going to be like sitting there trying to like outbox you so much, because he wants to try to put you away. So I think that'll go. If you're going to bet, I'd bet the under, because I think that's definitely going to be a knockout of some sort. I am picking Shushu Carrington to win, obviously, Clay. But Renee's not going to.
Angelo. You're a smart man.
But Renee's not going to be easy. Yeah, what it'll be is Rene Palacios will be fun, and Rene Palacios will lose no credibility with me, even if he gets knocked out. He's still going to be 19-1.
I think this is set up, man. I think Shushu is getting primed for something big, man. A big fight. You know what I mean? A unification. 126 is on the verge of just blowing up, bro. You know, we're just one announcement away from hearing, you know, after Shushu and after Monster Inoue and Bam figure out their differences, there's a good chance Bam is going to go to one. That Monster Inoue is going to go to 126, and you know, everything is cooking right now. Rumors are circulating in space that we might be expecting to see Brandon Figueroa and Rafael Espinoza fight on that Mexico versus the world card, right? On the Canelo card.
Well, they pushed that to October.
October,
so
right.
Remember that, because Canelo's elbowing the whole bid. But now it actually gives us more of a chance that Figueroa,
right. It was all rumors anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it looks like we're not too far away from seeing a unified champion in the division. Right. You got to think that Shushu Top Rank is looking at Shushu like Top Rank got the relationship with Monster Inoue. You know what I'm saying? We know Bob got that relationship there. They want to bring that fight over there. They want Shushu. That's why everybody's talking about Shushu fighting Monster Inoue, because of the Top Rank situation, right? They're like, yo, bro, we kind of feel like, you know what I'm saying? We want Shushu to be that guy, even though Rafael Espinoza, but we kind of want Shushu to be that guy. So I think we see a unification coming around the corner for Shushu Carrington, and I think Top Rank is setting this up I mean, but this might be a mandatory as well. I think as well. I'm not too sure. Is this a mandatory?
Let me check. Well, I'll double check real quick. It might be. Hold on.
Because I know that Renee Palacio has some sort of a WBC Intercontinental or silver or some sort of belt.
No, he's not the mandatory.
Okay,
the mandatory is Cristobal Lorente
okay.
from
So,
Portugal.
but that being said, even more so than to my argument of this is set up for Shushu to get a knockout, to look great, to look spectacular, and really sell him to the world as a fight, his next fight being his biggest fight, which has got to be some sort of unification, whether it's going to be him and Angelo Leo, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they're trying to put that together or whatever have you, or
here's the fun. Yeah, no, it's good rumors, Clay. Here's the funny thing is I'm looking at the rankings as you asked me, hey, can we double check? So you know who the number one mandatory to Omar Trinidad is now? It's to Angelo Leo. It's Omar Trinidad. The IBF moved him.
Right.
So he's now the number one mandatory. Other than a unification, mandatories will trump anything.
Right.
Other
I
than
mean, you got to think that Angelo Leo would want to go for the unification and the money rather than fight a nobody like Omar Trinidad, unless they put a big bag. I think there's a good chance that we'll see Leo and Bruce. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's in my mind. I have this vision of that potentially happening of Leo and Shushu, especially if Rafael Espinosa and Brandon Figueroa get made. I think they're trying to unify 126. And like I said, Top Rank is matchmaking a little different now. They're partnering up with the Zone now. You know what I mean? And even when I talked to Brad Goodman about that, he said, yeah, now he even mentioned that the Zone was a little more involved. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That they want to put on the bigger fights at the Zone. You know, they're having conversations with the Zone. They're very at the table network. They're not quietly in the background like Showtime was. Or, you know what I'm saying? They're kind of like, why are you making this fight? Oh, okay. Let me see that. All right. Let me see that. Yeah. Nobody better than that. Nobody better than that. You sure? Let me look at the top five, man. Let me see the top five and make sure that you got the guy that we want the guy to be the guy to beat the guy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, that night. Yeah, scratch that guy. We'll give him a fight. We want that guy. Get that guy up here against that guy. Good job, though. You guys are doing a great job. Good matchmaking. I'm out. Make it happen. What I said, though.
Listen, I want to just say this real quick because I will take the wife to work. We down to one car, Clay. You know that. Car in the shop. Listen, I think this is a great fight for Shushu. There's a chance for him to really set the record straight and put some distance between him and the other fighters at 126. This is a super display. The guy he's fighting, like Angelo said, he just was on that Pro Box card. We actually watched those fights simultaneously. It was a headbanger. Both of them guys were going at it with each other. The guy, I believe, was from like Congo or something like that, and he's a really tough fight for him. And a lot of people were giving him was upset that he lost, but at the same time, he did get beat. So this shows a warrior spirit that he's going to have as an opponent. I think Shushu does get this victory very easily, and I think that we will see Shushu at his best because this guy's going to bring everything he has to bring to make this fight competitive. And I think we're going to see a competitive fight here. Don't sleep, don't blink, because Shushu might have to put him out to get rid of this guy. This guy's going to put a lot of pressure. I'm telling you, he's going to.
I know he's going to. So this is what Shushu wants,
right?
And also Shushu coming off the back end of that fight, he got the knockout of the year, but he ran through adversity in that one.
Yeah,
right.
He got clipped. So I'm expecting to see some adjustments from Shushu.
Right.
I'm expecting to see him tighten up a little bit more and be a better fighter all around based off of that last fight. You know, that last fight was life-changing for him, not only in the fact that he won a championship right there in New York, but also, you know, he also ran through adversity. I think that was the first time I seen Shushu really get buckled like that and really had to kind of battle that adversity.
Don't be surprised if it happens in this fight. That's all I'm going to say. Not saying it will.
Yeah, for sure.
But don't be surprised. This guy's definitely going to be in the pocket with him.
All right. Well, here's the other thing too, right?
Well, I got to get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here, right? No, what Ray Davis was trying to say is if you guys want to go check out the Pro Box fight that happened from January, it's against a person by the name of Suleiman Sagawa. And the reason why
that fight was
it was a barn burner. Right?
Well, let me real quick on that fight, because I talked to Shushu personally about that fight, right, in New York.
Okay.
And I told him what I thought, and he was like, damn, Clay, he's like, you hitting it on the nail. That's exactly what happened. During the time when that fight was happening, if you remember correctly, and you jog your memory, this was right around the Frank Martin Tank Davis fight. This was like a few months after that. Shushu went over to Tank Davis's camp to see Tank Davis. I remember him being juiced up about the fight, right? He was like, man, Tank looked crazy. And when he saw the Frank Martin fight, he was like, yo, bro, those are the kind of performances I want to do. So he went into that Sagawa fight headhunting. He went into that fight headhunting. He was trying to do the Tank thing, high guard, you know what I'm saying? Take his time, measure. He was loading up for the big shots and end up making it. Sagawa ended up boxing him and really just end up making it an ugly fight, a messy fight that he won. Some people felt like he lost the fight. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead. I thought that was just a significant part of that Sagawa fight.
No. That's what I was trying to explain to everybody is that if you guys want to see a common opponent so that you could understand that Rene Palacios coming from Pro Box is not trying to show up on TNT in front of all these free people just to get beat up by Shushu. He gave Suleiman Sagawa a hell of a fight, won a split decision. That's the same guy that I understand what you're saying about when Shushu fought Suleiman Sagawa, he was headhunting. Even still, though, Shushu only got a majority decision win on the Suleiman Sagawa fight. So if you guys want to watch Suleiman Sagawa versus Shushu Carrington, then watch from the 30th, Suleiman Sagawa versus Palacios. You'll get kind of an understanding of what Palacios Carrington could possibly look like. Having said that, Clay, I think that you're right. Shushu did go through. There's some issues with the Carlos Castro fight, but he knocked him out, bro, with like a 5-piece punch. So I'm expecting the same type of thing. Like I'd like to see it to be a war, and then Shushu knocks him out, and that would be great. That would make Shushu a superstar. That would make
100%. I'm definitely on the same page with you when it comes to that one. Let's continue to go down the card here. Tiger Johnson's going to be on this card here. 17-0. Tiger Johnson climbing his way up in the 147-pound weight class division, coming off of knocking out Nicholas Floss, a fight that he felt that he was unfairly judged. He thought that people were saying it was going to be 50-50 fight, and he was like, he has no idea. He felt it was beneath him for people to say he was going to be a 50-50 fight, and he showed up and he showed out in the fight, right? He showed up and he showed out. You got to give him his respect.
Yep. He
shows up against an opponent in his hometown. I've always said that 147-pound division is really cooking. Before the Nicholas Floss fight, he fought Boca Chica, right? Took that to a unanimous decision, made some changes in his team, brought in a new trainer, right? Moved away from his old trainer at that point, and moved into that Nicholas Floss fight, and we saw what he did. He's turning out to be more of a boxer puncher than the boxer. Like would you say that it would be fair that people were more likely classifying him as a boxer more than anything?
Yes. Before he moved up to the 47, and also before the Nick Floss win, more people were like, yeah, Tiger Johnson, it's like Albert Bell. You know,
right. 17 wins, eight knockouts, right? But he seems like he's gotten some power about him.
Definitely,
he came to 147, right?
Definitely more pop at 47. Kind of like what happened to Devin Haney, right? Like, just I'm hitting harder now. So no, I'm with you on this. I think it's a great showcase for Tiger Johnson. What I will say though is credit to I don't know if it's Top Rank or DAZN or maybe it was Tiger Johnson, but credit to them, because I'm telling you, Clay, Christopher Guerrero, we called one of his fights, I believe, also. He fights he fights for that Quebec, the same promoter that does Osleys Iglesias and Christian Mbili and all them Canadians, right? And Machine Gun Guerrero, bro, he can fight, man. This is kind of a fun scrap. I think that this will be like power boxer versus power boxer style. That's gonna be a fun fight too. Those are the two that I had as a banger. Is Christian Guerrero, who's 16-0, versus Tiger Johnson, and then the Shushu fight. So man,
Christian Guerrero is somebody who's been campaigning at 147. I mean, he seems like he's naturally bigger. He's even fought as high as like 152, 153 catchweight fights. You know what I'm saying? But he's been campaigning for the most part. So he's a more natural 147 pounder. This will be his 10th round fight. 10th round fight that he's been in. But once again, doesn't seem like the power's quite translated for him in the division. He just seems like he's a boxer kind of guy. Tiger Johnson, this is kind of old school for him. He's going back to like, okay, we boxing, but at the same time, he seems like he's got an appetite for smoke all of a sudden at 147. 3 fights into his this will be his 4th fight at 147.
I think so. Oh, is it? Is it
I think
fourth or third?
I think it's his fourth. Let me see here real quick. I think it's his fourth fight. Yeah. This will be his fourth fight against Chris Guerrero, and he's had 2 knockouts at 147.
Right.
Since
Now
he's
keep
been
in
there.
mind, Chris Guerrero got 9 knockouts. I think he got
Right.
more knockouts than Tiger Johnson, right? Total.
He's got more knockouts, but it seems like Tiger Johnson's getting, like, as far as 147 is concerned.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It seems like he's in his knockout bag. The momentum's
Okay.
on his side. You know what I'm trying to say?
I got
Like,
you.
it seems like when you look at Chris Guerrero, you know what I'm saying? He got a TKO, you know what I'm saying? He TKO'd somebody in the 10th round, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? But for the most part, he's been like, unanimous decision.
Right.
He's been doing his
He's
thing
not
too.
early in his career though. He's knocking people out, but again, it's the promotional machine, right? So it is
The
what it is.
matchmaking. It seems as the
Yeah.
competition has gone up for him that he's not necessarily putting
Yeah.
dudes down like he used to. But
Yeah.
I think this is an opportunity for Tiger Johnson to really show up on the back end of this. I'm expecting him to be in some conversations. Do you know where he's at in the rankings right now? In any of his
I'll check it out. But while I'm checking it out, Clay, can you please, before I get mad, remind these people we got over 80 people in the building. Y'all are diabolical, man. We've been
Yeah, hit
over
the
an
like
hour
button.
in. Come on.
Yeah, hit the like button, man. Hit the like button, man. Support the grind, man. Definitely hit the like button. Big shot for Tiger Johnson. Also on this card is going to be the Mason brothers, which I don't know too much about them, but Ibrahim and
They're
Abdurrahman.
twins. That's what I know about
That's
them.
what
I
I
think they're
said.
twins.
When I
right?
saw them, I'm
Yeah.
like, are these guys twins?
Yeah, they're twins, bro.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, but I don't know anything about them. I'm actually very excited to see what they're going to do. It seems like the brothers, the whole, the Vargas brothers, the Davis brothers, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now the Mason brothers. It seems like, they're looking for a little family situation to come together. I don't know who Ibrahim.
Well,
do they fight? Do they fight like Abdullah? I mean, what do they do?
I have no idea. I know that we haven't had a twin set since Charlo's. So this could be fun. This could be fun. We'll see how it looks. The Tiger Johnson question, Clay. So he's currently in the IBF at number 14 and on the WBO, which is
No, I don't think they're twins. They're not twins.
Oh, they're not? They just look alike then. Damn.
They look
All
like
right.
on stage. They're not twins.
Okay. All right. So Tiger Johnson is number 14 in the IBF, but for the WBO, he's number 10. So he's in the top 10 for WBO already.
All right, so he's in that same conversation as Devin.
Yeah, Devin. It's the Devin conversation, man. It's
Conveniently enough, you know what I'm saying? And Brian Norman and all those guys too. And Rohan Polanco's up in that division too, ranked pretty high in that division as well too. So yeah, on the back end of this fight, you got to think Tiger Johnson's looking for some sort of, he's trying to get up in the ladder, towards an eliminator or something. So we'll see how that performance looks for him. What do you think about Terrence Crawford, man, jumping into the commentating space, man?
I like it. I like it because he's super knowledgeable. Like he knows what he's seeing. You've heard so many different fighters like Shakur saying, man, I'm listening to Terrence Crawford telling me what's going on live time and what to do. And I almost, he's going to be a great coach. Well, usually when you have that type of mentality, it's about just describing what you're seeing. So as long as they don't like mess with Terrence Crawford and try to get in his head about how to speak on TV, just let Terrence Crawford be Terrence Crawford. Let him describe what he's seeing in lifetime. And then I think it'll work out perfect. I'm excited to see it because I think if Terrence Crawford knocks it out of the park, bro, remember, he's doing this as a one-off for TNT. That's a good visual for him, though, because it's for free, on free television. Everybody's going to get to see him. So let's say he does that. He's not going to be exclusive to TNT. I'd love to see him on a ring card.
He has a contract with TNT.
So he can't do Ring Magazine cards,
I'm not saying
bro.
he can't, but I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying he has a contract with TNT. I don't think nothing's going to stop him from doing what he wants to do.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
so, the reason why I'm describing that is because you got Ryan Garcia fighting Conor Benn September 12th. That's a Ring Magazine card.
Right.
I'd love to see Terrence Crawford on a Netflix, like doing that. You know what I mean? Right? So that'd be awesome, man. I think it'd be great. Hey, nobody needs to see Terrence Crawford come back in the ring no more, man. I don't want to
he's good. He talked about it. Did you see the Ariel Helwani interview?
Yes. Yeah. No,
right.
He's comfortable, man. He's comfortable. He's traveling.
What do you think about his assessment about, listen, man, Andre Ward, did you see Andre Ward and Roy Jones?
I didn't really get to listen to it. I've heard other people telling me that basically said I think did Andre say that Xander quit? Is that what happened on that one?
No. He said he didn't quit. He said he didn't.
Okay, so
Roy said he quit.
Oh, Roy
said he
Jones
quit.
said he quit. Okay, got it.
Roy said he basically quit. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't fight back, or he allowed us scoring or whatever. I don't think. What are you saying on that? Did Xander quit?
I don't think he quit. I mean, look. Okay, so here's the two ways to see it. Right, in the boxing world, if you're in it, what you want the fighters to always show is that they're willing to go through the fire. Right. And then as the trainer, your job is to go, no, Claymore, I got to stop it. Then you would go, come on, Angelo, you got to let me keep going. And then that's what everybody expects. And no greater example, by the way, than Roberto Duran, who many times has explained, yeah, I felt like this one, I thought we were going to have a trilogy anyways. So he just wasn't fighting me that day. And I wasn't feeling it. I was kind of frustrated. So I was like, whatever. Right. But how famous did that become? No mas. He made Roberto Duran quit. And then look how it killed Duran's career, right? Like his own people were like, you're a quitter, bro. Quitter, right? And it took forever for Roberto Duran to finally get himself way back up there. But when we talk about Roberto Duran now, we don't think of Roberto Duran as a quitter. So in the Xander one, if you're going to go specific, did Xander look at his corner and agree with him? Yeah.
Yeah,
is that quitting though? Is that quitting though? Like
I don't even know if it was an agreement as much as it was an acceptance, right? Like it was
right.
It
like you right. Like you right. Like you
right. Like Xander, like
you're
I got
right,
you.
Angela.
I got you.
And what I'm telling you is what's rough is inside the world. Like I'm not in that world right now, but when you're in it, they do not want you to agree with me. So if I'm coaching you, Clay, and I go, you stay down, Clay, right? What they expect you to say is, nah, fuck that, right? And you get up, and then I got to go throw a towel just to go against you, right? They don't expect you to go, you right, Angelo, I'm getting my ass whooped, it's over.
Right.
Because then that's quitting.
Well, Chris Manning said they did throw the towel in physically, like there was a towel thrown. The camera just wasn't on the corner.
And I think the minute they show that, they'll stop this narrative.
Right.
I think the minute they actually show
Manning
the towel getting thrown.
He said emphatically, like, I want to make it clear. He's like, that man didn't stop the fight. That man did not quit. His corner threw the towel in. His corner stopped the fight officially. Like the corner stopped the fight. It's just that Xander saw them with the towel and was like,
right. But it's funny that you bring this up because how many times have you and I privately gone back and forth on Dubois? And I'm like, he didn't quit, bro. Like he's, but then you're like, no, but he did quit because he could have gotten up. And that's what.
No, but Dubois is different because Dubois waited on the count and then got up and went. With Xander, it got stopped. Like it was like 4 or 5, and then it got stopped. Dubois looked at his corner, and his corner didn't throw the towel. You know what I'm saying? His corner didn't. You know what I'm saying? He waited and got. It is what it is. I don't want to make this all about Daniel Dubois, but I'm just saying it's a little different. This one's a more of an official corner jumped in, stopped the fight. Daniel Dubois was more of he decided and more so got the okay. Go ahead and do that if you want.
Okay, but to the point of this subject, do you think Daniel Dubois is mentally weak? He's the WBO champ, bro. He just went through hell on the Fabio Warby fight.
Daniel Dubois is still in the same conversation with as Ben Whitaker. He wasn't confronted with that situation yet for him to have to make that decision. See, the thing with Daniel Dubois is he's not physically weak. If he's hurt, he's shown that he will work through the pain. It's this thing. When the thinking gets hard for him and he starts to have to, and I think this has, I don't want to keep going too deep in this, but with the Daniel Dubois situation, this is about his ability to critically think in tense situations.
Okay.
He breaks. Even in the build up to the fight, the interviews, when Ariel Helwani flustered the crap out of him in that interview. Just by asking some questions, we couldn't figure out what Ariel was. And Ariel wasn't even trying to be like mysterious or nothing, but he just got caught off guard. Wait, hold on. What? Wait, no. This is where, yeah, we need to cut this short. And then he got up out of there. You know what I'm saying? He didn't weather that storm. And that's the same thing I believe that fighters like Alexander Usyk present to him. Difficulty. Yeah, you hit me with that. And I'm down. I don't know what to do about it. I don't want to fight no more. That's what I see from him. You know what I'm saying? That's what I see from him. So I need to see that tested from him. And once I see that tested from him, I'll say he passed that test. The same way I give my whole thing about Ben Whittaker, right? I say, yeah, he's looking good, but I want to see him when he goes through the adversity, deal with that situation.
So that now again, just recently, and this is what I'm just telling you, like there's the insider people who, and again, this has to do with the Xander Zayas thing, but insider people adamantly will say, yeah, Xander quit. I mean, I'm talking about people in the industry who are currently coaching or whatever, right? And then there's the fans and the people who are like, nah, man, it's corner. And then Chris Mannix, they threw in the towel. But to your point, being passionate that way, talking about Dubois, did you not just see Dubois get knocked down twice and get hit hella hard a lot of times by Wardley and mentally was like, I'm in this.
It's not the same. Because Fabio Wardley was not a Rubik's Cube. It wasn't complicated. He knew what the problem was. Damn it, I got to make sure I don't get hit by that right hand. That damn right hand caught me. That's not a math problem. That's just it's all good. The math problem is rhythm, cadence, jab. I'm off on the angle. Jab, I'm off. Boom, body shot. I'm grabbing you. Turn him around. Combination punching. Boom. Slip off the angle. Make a miss. Boom, hit him with a shot he didn't see. Now he's down. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like that volleying of punches and the way it comes and trying to time that out. Meanwhile, you're trying to, it gets frustrating. Even in the little bit of sparring that I've done, I know the difference when I get in there with somebody who just wants to punch it out with me. That's a little more fun for me. It hurts. I can get hit, but I'm fighting you. But when you're really like controlling the range on me, turning me, making me look stupid, this thing starts getting like, oh, stop doing that. Stop. We saw Boots go through it with Karen. Right. Like, how you moving ass little mother? Stay your ass still. I'm tired of this shit with your ass. Daniel don't like to do that. He don't like to figure that out.
Right. So my last thing with it is, how is everything you just described about Daniel Dubois any different than what Roberto Duran did on the second fight of Leonard? Roberto Duran was frustrated. Roberto Duran was like, so it's the same shit. So,
I mean, it's the same to a degree, but I'm telling you, man, there's all these little intangibles. With Roberto Duran, it was a machismo thing. Roberto Duran was a kind of person, he was like a skillful Mayorga. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was raw. He wanted, like, fight me. You were talking that shit. We're supposed to be fighting, and you keep running around the ring. I don't want to keep doing this with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to keep doing this with you. So, yes, but no. Daniel can age better once he shows and he proves on the big stage and he's confronted with that situation. But until that happens, I think any heavyweight boxer who gets in the ring with him is going to be like, their trainer's going to be like, we're going to try to mentally break this dude. We're going to try to present this dude with situations. Like Philip Ergovich fights Daniel Dubois again. He's going to be like, I gave that guy a fight. It's not about punching hard as hell. It's about pissing him off and frustrating him. The next time they fight each other, Philip's going to fight him differently, bro. And probably, I'm going to be real with you, probably beat him.
Well, I mean, I don't know if Philip Ergovich is going to survive Moses Itama. So
I'm just saying he's not. He's not going to survive Moses Itama. He's going to.
We'll
he's going
see.
to get.
Oh, we don't know, man. I know you're high on your boy.
We'll see. No problem. We'll wait on it. I get it. I don't want to read that. We'll just wait on it. That's all good. This would be a way better conversation the day after that fight. That'll be a way better conversation.
Okay. Hey, leading up to that fight, I'm going to be the devil's advocate against Moses.
That's why I said I can't. I don't want to be a bullshitter because I'll be the first one to tell you we don't know. So I'm not going to. I understand. But I'm just saying we do, but we don't. But we do. We don't.
Oh, man.
But we do.
Hey, Keith Connolly, man, I'm going for Ergovich, bro. Just so that you know.
Hey, it is what it is, man. Even better, man. That's when it's sweeter. We like it that way.
Okay.
Team Moses over here. We love it. We like it.
All right.
You like it. We love it. Oh, you don't think perfect? That means when it's done, the show's gonna be sweeter afterwards. You're gonna be like, damn it, Moses is the truth. Kai Soup 953, the $5 says he I think he's saying LOL or
No, whole lotta.
Oh,
I think it's
whole
whole
lotta.
lotta.
Damn,
Yeah.
boy, my non-reading ass, right? Whole lot of fight talk going on every week. Salute to the Kings, Claymore and Reyes. Yeah, man. But it's gonna be interesting to see Terrence Crawford on here. So now I'm hearing that. Hold on, saying the Xander channel is gonna be doing damage control all summer. Okay, I don't know if this is supposed to be the Xander. Yo, we got to do better as a boxing space, man. We got to be able to give a fighter his flowers and it not be a representation of the other fighter taking anything away from the other fighter. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
right.
we should be able to give Xander his respect and say, man, that kid came out there at 23 years old, bro, in a fight that nobody expected him to win. All odds was against him, and he still showed up. And not only did he show up in the ring, but he showed up in the fight. He could have been on his bicycle, running around the ring, moving around, but he stood in there and did the unthinkable for a lot of us who like looking at Xander like, what the hell are you doing? And he can get his flowers and it not be an over celebration of somebody who lost, bro. It's not about celebrating somebody who lost as much as it's celebrating somebody who came to compete.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not about him getting celebrated for the loss. We're not celebrating him because he lost. That's insane. Who's going to see him be like, man, he lost. Yeah, give him up. But he lost. No, we're like, nah, this kid came up in there and showed heart, man. And at the same time, Jerron Boots Ennis dominated for 6 rounds, 6.5 rounds, 6 3/4 rounds, right? But had a 30 to 90 second window of, an issue. And that's okay. It's not. He still won the fight in a dominating way, but still at the same time be able to hold him accountable. The pundits in the space is doing it all over the place. Y'all ain't over there giving them hell. Andre Ward sat up in there. Watch. I sent it to you the link. Watch when Andre Ward was like, I don't give a damn, bro. Sleeping on the biggest night of your life, across the ring from somebody with 8-10 ounce gloves trying to take your head off. Who wants to take food out your mouth on the biggest night, the biggest stage? Couldn't be me. That's what Dre was saying. Couldn't be me. He said anybody can get hit. I ain't mad at he got hit. You know what I'm saying? But to find out he got hit because you were being lazy on the biggest night of your life, you wasn't wired to not get hit. Like, you know, it's just the mentality. That's what the conversation's about. It's about the mentality. It's the complacency, right? I'm saying, how could you be complacent and have that kind of mentality on that kind of stage? It's scary because what you're gonna do when against other opponents, and I love this line, right, that people love to say, oh, he did that for this guy, he'll never do that for that guy. Angelo, I'm almost 50 years old. You're older than me. You're my senior, bro. We know what this is about, bro. We know we are creatures of habits. We know why we get in our kids' asses for the small things so they don't fuck up the big things, right? We know we're building habits in our kids. We know what we're doing. We building habits because if you do this little thing like this, guess what you're gonna do when you get to the big thing? More than likely, you're gonna do it the way you did this little thing. Yeah, you might have a moment. Maybe you do stand in there and you think clearly and you make the right decision. But when you get punched in the face and it comes time to be instinctual about what you're going to do, your instincts are going to be to do what you did most of the time, not what you did some of the time.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And again, I think you guys have to, I was saying this to somebody the other day, Clay, where I told them, I said that you have to watch ATP from like, at least watch it from the beginning of the year so that you can see how much we push Boots. Right? Like to the point where last year I was getting attacked, bro. People were saying I was glazing Boots. Right? Like we pushed this shit. We pushed Boots so much.
Backed him all the way on the Lima fight.
Yeah,
what's the problem, man?
Exactly. But everybody was killing him on the Lima fight. We were like, nah, you guys aren't seeing what we're saying, you know? Like
the eye test shows that this man, the eye test, he won't fight nobody. He a dog. He could have fought Virgil. Why he jump into a Lima? We were defending him and y'all were killing us. But on the back end of just holding him accountable and saying it the right way, right? Saying, listen, 6 3/4 of the rounds out of 7 rounds, he beat the shit out of Xander Zayas.
Right.
But inside that 30 to 90 seconds, even Angelo at the end of it on celebrating a victory, he was, yo, I knew he was going to do it. It was like, but I ain't going to lie. Play back the video. He was like, I ain't going to lie, though, man.
There's a
That's my guy,
moment.
but-
There's a moment.
That's my guy, but he ain't you. You know what I mean?
But I mean, I'm
think
glad.
so.
Yeah. No, and I'm glad Boots addressed it on that
Right.
video we played the other day. Like, I'm glad he said, "Yeah, I'm giving myself a C+," because honestly, it shouldn't even be like that for
Yeah,
me.
it
ever.
shouldn't have been. It shouldn't
Right.
have been. It didn't
Right.
need to happen, especially
Right.
with the excuse you said. And I think it's the words that's also more, I don't want to say incriminating, but more the fact that you said, I just be getting lazy. That's what that was. I got lazy.
Right.
That's what triggered Andre Ward.
Yes.
That's what triggered him. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
That's
Like,
what made, yeah.
Like it's different if you just got hit. He's like, come on, man. Everybody gets hit. It's boxing. But when you said what the actual reason behind it, nah, bro. You ain't supposed to be being lazy in a big show, man. Shout out to Lance Shepard in the building with the $5, man. Did him, people would be saying Boots quit. And I know that for sure. Ugh. Listen, they're saying Xander quit.
Right.
So yeah, if they say Xander
Oh,
quit,
he-
they're
yeah.
gonna say Boots quit.
Yeah,
Sure.
he's saying if it would have been the other way around, like if
All right, no,
Zion-
I'm saying, yeah, what's good for the
Yeah.
Goose is good for the Gander, for sure. If it had been
Right.
Zayas, so I would expect it even worse for Boots. Without a doubt, listen, Heavy's the crown. Heavy's the head that wears the crown, and Boots is the
Right.
king in that situation. He is the guy expected to do more. He knows more. More is expected on him. So yeah, if he gives any type of Zayas performance, or somebody does to him what he did to Zayas, he's gonna get more criticism. I agree with you, because it's gonna be like, damn, bro, that ain't supposed to happen to you. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But I think sometimes people get too much into the politics of the tribal shit. You know what I'm saying? Personally, you know what I mean? The tribal shit gets too much, man. That black, Spanish, white, Chinese, all you know what I mean? All that is just, it's too much, bro. Like when we're sitting here talking about boxing, Angelo, and we breaking these things down, bro, we ain't taking those things into consideration. We're just talking about boxers. That's how we look at it. You know what I mean? We're talking about
Right.
boxers and what they do, and people feel like, but show him more grace because
Right.
he's a
Right.
black boxer, or
Right.
show him more grace because he's a Spanish boxer, or
Right.
do him the way the Spanish people would have destroyed him. So as a black man, destroy them.
Right.
When they do, like, I can't, that's too much for me. I ain't got it in me to do it. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got it in me to do that, bro. I don't know what to say to y'all when y'all be making that, man. When y'all be making that, like putting the onus on me to be like, think about it. If Xander would have done that and Boots would have done that, the Puerto Rican community, why can't we represent for our people the way they represent for their people? And it's like,
Right.
all I hear is this violin playing in my head. And I'm like, I want to be sensitive to your journey and your experience in life. I don't want to dismiss the fact. I just want to say I don't feel that way. Okay, I don't feel the need to do that. And I actually would feel weird. Anybody who knows me would be like, why are you doing? That's not me, man. They're fighters in me. They're not black fighters, Spanish fighters, Chinese fighters. They're fighters in me, man. The only time I give credence to their ethnicities when I think about the support. Like Mexico gonna show up deep tonight in the
World Cup.
T-Mobile Arena. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
The Filipinos about to go crazy tonight.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? The Polynesians about to go, hey, yo,
Right.
it's gonna be up there. You know what I mean? But I'm
Right,
not sitting
right.
here going, I don't got time for that. Let me see. He said, nah, Clay, you line Japanese fans wish they had a Boots. Yeah. I mean, listen, man.
Yeah,
the crazy
they got a Boots. His name's Inoue.
it's Monster Inoue. You know what I mean? They got somebody out there knocking dudes out.
Yeah, he filling out 80,000, bro. So,
It is what it is. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But that sometimes it gets crazy, and it's just like I can't help it. I've been talking about this Jerron Boots Ennis thing for a long time, ever since at 147. You guys watch. I've been saying, man, I hope he switches that up at 154. I hope he don't just do that at 154. I hope he don't do what he's doing at 147, 154. I feel like he's gonna run into somebody who's gonna make him pay in a bad way. So, for me, I don't want to say it was a victory for me, but it was somewhat of a small victory for me to see him take ownership of that moment. You know what I'm saying? And say, I got to change that, and we working on that. I'm not doing that no more. And that made me be like, thank you. That's all I wanted you to do, bro. I swear. That's all I wanted you to say was, it's not because I'm not it's not because I can't get up because that was about his biggest fight. That was your biggest fight ever, and you still did it in that moment. And I think that's what he realized, because he thought that Oh, yeah, that happened to me. It was Karen, though. I didn't really even want to fight Karen. Or that happened to me because, the weight cut, I didn't feel like being there no more. I got to be able to you got to give me a real big fight. Give me a real big fight, and I'll fight differently. When he got in a real big fight, he was like, damn, bro, I still got hit with that shit.
Right.
And this time it made me do the stinky leg and move around all weird. And you know what I'm saying? I got to change that up. It is what it is. Guys, I put the link in the chat. Anybody who wants to come up, we're opening up the panel. Claymore, what was the result of the Zuffa Eddie Turkey meeting? Nothing, from what I hear. And it wasn't even well, yeah, it was Zuffa. Yeah, it was Nick Khan. I don't know. Turkey, that was hilarious though. I guess Turkey put out a tweet. I guess Ariel Helwani's co-host put out a tweet basically throwing shade on the meeting because of the pictures. Did you see that?
Yeah, no, I mean, so the people that are in the know, basically, there were 2 meetings. Okay. So here, I'll give you guys some clarity on it. There was a meeting with all the promoters that's under the zone for one thing, and then there was a separate meeting between Nick Khan and Eddie Hearn. So the Nick Khan picture is just Eddie already got a picture with the other group when they did the first meeting.
Right.
The Nick Khan picture is like, hey, I'm taking a picture because there was a Nick Khan Eddie meeting. There you go. Done. So it wasn't like Nick Khan wasn't sitting there with like all the other people. The Nick Khan meeting had to do with all kinds of other shit, like WWE, the UFC,
right? Like TKO,
like
Joker Business, right?
Yeah, there was like the group that's 60% owned by Turkey. That meeting. So there was a Nick Khan meeting, and then there was an Eddie with Nick meeting, and then that's it. People got to relax, man.
Yeah, they make it. K Money says, Clay, who's your top favorite fighters? What do you mean, of all time or right now? K Money, you saying of all time or you saying of like right now, active fighters? Who's my top 5? Salute Irvine Irvine Legree. What's up, man? What's popping, man? What's good, family? What's good? K Money, I mean, if you're saying top 5 of all time, right now, Shakur Stevenson, David Benavidez. I'm just going off my head right now. Shakur Stevenson, David Benavidez.
These are your 5 favorite fighters of today to watch.
Right now, this moment. Yeah, who's active right now.
Okay.
Shakur Stevenson, David Benavidez, Jerron Boots Ennis. Be honest with you, Jail Pattaya is definitely there, without a doubt. Jail Pattaya is there, and probably Shushu. Let me revisit that. Hold on a second. Shushu's definitely there. So Shushu,
this is your top 5. Just think in your head. How about this? I'll make the question easier. Who is your starting lineup for the 5 current fighters you definitely want to watch on TV?
Bruce Shushu Carrington.
Okay.
Hey, Abdullah Mason's got to be there, man. I'm into this next generation. Abdullah Mason.
Okay.
Shakur Stevenson. That's 3, right?
Yeah, that's 3.
David Benavidez for sure.
Okay, that's 4.
Damn, the 5th one, bro.
This is crazy to me.
I like right now.
Crazy to me. You're bugging, bro. You are tripping right now.
Hold on, man. There's so many fighters I like right now, but you're saying the top 5. Definitely Shakur.
Yeah, you're starting 5 of who you want to watch. Yeah.
Shushu's my guy, bro. He's one of my favorite, man.
You are tripping right now.
And probably Bam Rodriguez.
Okay, that's your 5. You know what's hella funny? You're going to feel hella bad when I say this shit. You didn't include Moses. So I'm going to tell you guys who the 5 that I definitely want to see, man. Like that's must-see TV. Inoue is a must-see TV. Jail Pattaya, must-see television. Moses Itama, guys, is must-see television. Man, he is. Like, doesn't matter who he fights. Your curiosity is always peaking. Like, oh, maybe this guy will get him. Or, oh man, he's faster than what I thought, right? So he's must-see TV. I got Inoue, Jai. Moses is must-see TV.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna leave out the Shakurs and the Haneys because everybody's gonna say that anyways, and we always want to watch them. So must-see TV, like where you're going, man, he gets me excited.
I didn't say Jerron.
You did not say Gerard.
I said it the first time.
No,
I said it
but
the first time.
that's why I said you're gonna be killing
Yeah,
yourself.
but it was an unfair question, man.
I'm
gonna
just
put
saying.
Jerron Anderson there over.
I tried to
Jerron
re-ask you the
Anderson over
question.
Shushu. I put Jerron Anderson over Abdullah Mason.
Okay,
sure.
all right, that's fine. So,
For sure.
anyways,
So let me go on. So I'm gonna my guy.
Hold on. Let me finish mine. Let me finish.
Right.
So then my fourth after Moses would be definitely Jerron Ennis because he gets you going. He makes you excited. And my fifth one, because July 26th, Paramount Plus, Super Boxing, my man, Jaleel Hackett, because he be knocking people out.
Hey, Coach
Negro Mexicano.
How you doing, Coach? Good to see you. How you doing today, Coach? Oh, look who's on the panel. Hey, Coach, how you doing? Damn, you popped up out. Hey, Coach. Coach, we just having a middle of a conversation and you popped up. How you doing, Coach?
Man, I think y'all having a good one today, man. Hey, Abdullah Mason and that whole Mason clan, those brothers can box, man. Those guys can box. Their dad has done a great job with them. And I think as their careers matriculate, there's a possibility to see three brothers with world titles.
Yeah, that's a very interesting because they're like in the same weight class, like a weight class apart from each other, right? Like one of them is a lightweight dude, and the other one is a super featherweight or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. So that's very interesting. They all around the same size, but the whole brother thing, right? The whole entire brother dynamic. You know what I mean? You got the Vargas brothers that didn't kind of work out, right? Armando Vargas and Fernando end up they doing BKFC or they're bare knuckle fighting. And you got the Davis brothers, you know what I mean, with Keyshawn and his brothers. I think Kelvin might be a little bit of a weak link there, just a little bit of a weak link there. I like Keon. But here come the Mason brothers, the Mason 5. I like that, the Mason 5. But specifically with their brothers right now, getting an opportunity to lock their city down in Ohio and really show up and have that same energy that Virginia has or had. I don't know if the Davis brothers still hold that weight in Virginia the way they did before the whole entire Edwin De Los Santos and Nahir Albright fiasco. But you have more of an on the ground understanding of these guys. You think these guys are the truth? Like, you think these guys are going to be the brothers that really kind of shut it down in boxing?
I think they have the ability to. I've been knowing them since they were amateurs. When they were all younger, got a lot of sparring with my son with them, and they can go. They can boogie. Those young guys can boogie. I think they have the air of discipline to be great. That's the piece I think they have. I think they have a tight-knit family bond. I think they have a respect for their dad to where it's not overbearing, but it allows them to blossom and grow. And I think that's a big piece of it. And when you got your dad and you all have the type of relationship that works, your dad can be your dad and your coach. I think that's the piece that they have. I do think, like I said, I do think they got all the pieces to be something special as brothers and as individuals. Their oldest brother is blossoming into a great coach. You know, he's coaching with his brothers. So I think they got something special there with the Mason boys, and they willing to fight. Them boys willing to fight.
Well, yeah, I think that's going to be a big stage for them in Ohio, and I'm expecting all of them to really show out just off the strength of that stage. You know what I'm saying? That they know this is their homecoming. This is what they all work for to get this opportunity to be on the same card. Abdullah did his job, got the title, brought the show back to Ohio, you know what I'm saying? So it's up to them to really capitalize on this. What do you feel about this Albert Bell, Abdullah Mason, this last minute change and with Albert Bell, and you know what I'm saying? Like they have some, you know, history inside of sparring, so they're familiar with each other. But what do you feel about this one?
Man, that's a hell of a last minute replacement. Gee, Mo Willie. That's not a last minute replacement. Yeah, I don't look at Albert Bell and be like, oh, he's my replacement guy. Man, Albert's something terrible. He can box. He got respectable power. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting to see how things go with that fight. I think if Abdullah wins this fight, he's made a major statement in his ability. I can honestly say I think that is one of those statement fights to where I took a last minute guy who's actually a front line guy and was able to beat him. Yeah, and to be young as Abdullah is, yeah, I think that's a statement maker. Yeah, that's a true statement maker.
This fight on the back end of this Jerron Boots and his Xander Zayas fight, right? On the back end of that, I'm feeling the energy in the air of a fight that's going to contest that fight. You know what I'm trying to say? Like a fight that's going to be like, being that they're so close with each other. Do you think this fight has, because of the familiarity of these guys with each other and the pedigree that Albert Bell brings to the ring, do you think this could be a fight of the year candidate?
Yes, I think very well. So I think it's the experience of Albert Bell, and I think the I know it's crazy to say, but Albert's still young in his own regard. He's young. And then the extreme youth of Abdullah Mason and being a champion, I think a lot of that macho male testosterone say, let's make this a fight. Let's make it a fight. Albert saying, I get my first chance to be a world champion, and I think I should have had it a long time ago, or a while ago. And Abdullah getting to stamp himself at home as the man of Ohio.
Do you think that Albert Bell has pressure on him to, I don't want to say throw caution to the wind, even though that maybe that could be a statement that might fit it, but does Albert Bell need to make sure, if he wants to win this fight, does he need to make sure he wins this fight? Can Albert Bell win a close fight against Abdullah Mason in Cleveland, Ohio, Saturday night?
100%. I think he can. 100%. First of all, you got to give it the ability for that to happen, because how many people will get Albert Bell as a replacement? I mean, right. That's a hell of a replacement. That's number one. Number two, I think I would venture to say Albert Bell might be more popular right now in Ohio than
Abdullah.
Yeah, I think Albert Bell maybe. I think just overall, he may have a touch advantage on the crowd side. I wouldn't be surprised if the crowd may be more in his favor. You know,
the crowd don't judge though, right, Coach? The crowd don't judge. The judges judge.
The crowd don't judge. The crowd don't judge, but the energy of the crowd can play a major role in how you fight. That can play a major role. If the energy
Coach,
you feel,
quick, right? Not that part. What I'm saying is, when it comes down to those three judges making a decision who wins this fight, does Albert Bell need to dominate more than usual? In other words, is he kind of like he's not in his backyard? Abdullah Mason is the one who's been touring at the Cavaliers games. He's over there, you know what I'm saying? The city's, it's his card, right? Like, it's his night. Does Albert Bell, and the reason I'm saying that is, does Albert Bell get to coast in this fight, or does he have to step it up a little bit just off the strength of the cards maybe stacked up against him?
I think at the point of Albert Bell's career, he's at the top level of boxing. He can't coast regardless. It don't matter what night it is. But in this particular night, we've seen the emotion of crowds sway rounds on judges' cards that we thought were not even swayable watching it from TV. We've seen the crowd with the oohs and ahs from guys who are missing punches, but they throwing them, sway how you look at it. That's what I mean by that crowd could have a sway on that.
Okay.
So I don't think Albert has to be Superman, but I do think Albert has to be the best version of Albert on that night. That's what I do think. And sometimes I'll say this, when you are sparring with guys that you know, same way with the Tank Davis, Lamont Roach, when Roy Jones, I'm not sure the brothers, I think it was Telesco that had been a sparring partner. When you have some background with guys, the natural element of the fear is usually not there the way it is with somebody that you're scheduled to fight, that you know can fight. You tend to take that experience, no matter what the time frame on when it happened was. you take that as a learning lesson for you, and that becomes something that you can, dwell on. And you find out in the first or second round, oh, if he still is susceptible to a feint, or if he's a jab hook, if that was something that was working for me in sparring, and it works for you in the first 2 rounds, you're gonna go to it to see if he can make adjustments. Most of the toughest guys that you fight are the guys that have experience with you.
No doubt. Well, let me ask you a question from a coach point of view, because whenever I have you up here, I got to get this perspective, right? And by the way, that Xander, I never told you, but the Xander Zayas night, that was awesome, bro. You know what I'm saying? To have you break, because
man,
it
thank you for
inspired
letting me be there.
Nah, man, that was amazing, man. It inspired me. I talked to my wife about it, and I was like, you know what I want to do, bro? I said, I want to start getting, I like the fact that you was giving that corner perspective, the perspective of what you would be telling the fighter, you know what I'm saying? In the corner after that round. Like, I'm going to tell him right now, he needs to make sure he does. And that was a great experience. That was a really great experience. But that being said, as last minute replacement, you're Abdullah Mason's head trainer, you know what I'm saying? And you guys decided to take this on. You know the story. You've got the familiarity. You know the pedigree of the fighter you got coming in the ring with you. You've been preparing for a full training camp for Joe Cordina. What's the approach? What makes more sense? How do we approach this? Do we smother Albert Bell? Do we pressure Albert Bell? Are we more patient because we know what he's capable of? How do we approach this situation?
For me, if this was something that happened with me and my son, I would tell my son, we work on what we do best. Don't be so concerned about negating what he does best. Be more concerned that you cross your T's and dot your I's on what you do best, and let's force him to have to be the one to make the adjustment. Sometimes you get caught up in your head so much about, if he does this because this is his tendency, I'm going to do this, and it takes you out of your tendencies. Focus on what got you. Like I always tell my son, dance with the girl that got you here. You in the finals, dance with the girl that got you here. If you
I
lose,
say that too.
If you lose in your own heart, you can accept that. But if you lose with a new dance partner, a new concept that you haven't tried, then you're gonna always say, what if I was being myself?
Regret. Right.
That's it. And I think that's when I saw Abdullah Mason's championship fight, I already had respect for the kid, but his corner was telling him great stuff. But you would see in pockets where they're saying, hey, shawty, step out. We don't need to engage like that the whole time. The first thing that went through my mind is, let me tell him what I see. But in this moment, his heart, his mind, his body is in there. And in his mind, he got to be comfortable enough to say, I gave it everything. If I took the L, it was because I was trying to win. But if you second guess yourself and you take so much to where you're throwing yourself off and you lose, it kind of makes it miserable as a team, because you're saying you didn't have faith in me. You're telling me to step out. I know I shouldn't have been doing but so much of this, but at the time I felt in my heart that I'm losing. I tell my son, when it gets to the back end of a fight, if you feel like what I'm saying at times may be playing it too close or too safe, you got to live with this outcome. You got to live with it. So if you say, I got to throw caution to the wind and I got to go get it because I feel I'm behind as a fighter, then you got to do what you got to do, because you got to live with it for the rest of your life.
Right. So I agree with that, with that approach, as far as do you, so that if it doesn't go your way, you don't have any thoughts about what it would have been if you do you. You know what I mean? Don't overthink it. Don't overanalyze it. It's especially considering the fact that you guys have that familiar energy in the ring. So you know who it is already. So don't overthink it. You did what you did in the gym. But have you heard the stories of those sparring sessions not necessarily going Abdullah Mason's way?
Yeah, and I think for the Abdullah part, I'll say this. He has to now say to himself, I was young back then. Even if it is 3-4 years apart or whatever the situation is, he got to say within himself, I'm a different man than I was back there. He beat up a kid. I'm a man now. I'm a guy who's went through 12 rounds. I went to war and I won my belt. That part I have to say to that young fighter is, you got scars on your face now. You ain't no longer a puppy with potential. You a dog with who's been battle tested. So whatever happened back then, that was a puppy. This is a dog now.
Yeah. I agree, man. I think that's one of the key elements. I think Abdullah Mason's maturity is going to be tested that night, right? His ability to, this is grow up. This is big man time, right? Big man pants. Put your big boy shoes on. You're a champion now. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like in that sense of the conversation, Abdullah Mason's been kind of fast tracked into being a man, right? Because he was ending everybody in 4 rounds, 5 rounds, 2 rounds. You know what I'm saying? If he went 5 rounds, it was amazing. He went directly from that into a 12-round war with Sam Noakes. You know what I'm saying? But he made it on the other side of that. An undefeated Sam Noakes, he made it on the other side of that with a Fight of the Year candidate, and more importantly, he became the youngest champion in boxing. So it's happening so fast for me as a fan watching it. That's what I'm going to be looking for, is those adjustments. Are we going to see a champion level Abdullah Mason maybe that we haven't seen before, based off of, because they say once you become a champion, you like go up like 2 or 3 notches just in who you are as a fighter. Is that true, Coach? Like when you become a champion, it's like 100%. You change overnight, right? Like you kind of grow 100%. Into that, right? So this new version 100%. Of Abdullah Mason is going to get tested in front of Albert Bell. And there's an argument to say that, is there an argument? I'm going to ask, right? Is there an argument to say that this is going to be the biggest challenge of Albert Bell's career? That is, as experienced as he's been, going all the rounds that he's gone, because I'm pretty sure he's gone way more rounds than Abdullah Mason, because he's not a big knockout guy like Abdullah Mason is. So he however many fights he has on his record, multiply that by 10, right? 10, 9, 8. You know what I mean? How many times he's gone the full way? But this is Albert Bell's biggest challenge, right? He's never been in the ring with a champion before. He's getting in the ring with a champion, right? Like we should be favoring Abdullah Mason in this fight, right?
I think every time you get in the ring, when you get to the level that they're at now, your next fight is your biggest fight. As soon as you win the one before, the next fight is bigger than the last one you won. That's just the mentality that they take into the fight. I think with Albert, just be Albert. I think that's what he's thinking. Hey, I've been in the ring with some great fighters. I'm from a town where boxing is big. We do this. This is what I do. Just be Albert. I think be Abdullah, but I would say, be more, show more defensive integrity because of who you're in front of. The defensive integrity has to be there. A lot of times youth will let you get fancy, as opposed to, just being what it needs to be on the defensive end. It's like having a great point guard that's getting older and then having the young flashy guy. The young flashy guy may get, the bulk of the minutes, but when my season is on the line, I'm going with the experienced guy because he's going to give me the experience level. So I would say Abdullah Mason, just be Abdullah, but be defensively sound. And for Albert, I think Albert just being Albert is gonna bring the best version of him, because Albert knows how big this fight is, how big this situation is.
Yeah. For sure, man. This is gonna be an interesting fight. I'm favoring Abdullah Mason to win the fight. I feel like he's grown, and I think people are going to be amazed, or I just think I expect to see a way more mature Abdullah Mason. I think that Sam Noakes fight is made a diamond. I think pressure makes diamonds, and I think that's what happened with Abdullah Mason. I think he made it through the other side of that, made it through the fire, and I think he's evolved into an even better fighter. And I'm sure they've been working hard in that gym to prepare him to be a better fighter than what he was with Sam Noakes, because he took a lot of ownership about that fight. In the victory, of course, he still took the ownership of like, yeah, well, we still gotta we got to go back and fix some things. I got hit more than I should have been hit. He felt it. You know what I mean? I don't want to be in those kind of wars again. I want to be a little bit more of a cleaner fighter. I still want to deliver the appetite for smoke, but I could do better than that. I don't need to get into fights like that again. That's not for a long career, right? We don't want to do that for the length of the career. Shout out to Lance Shepard in the building, says in the corner with Clay segment reels. Maybe he's speaking on the idea of the whole, the experience I had with you on covering the Xander Zayas, Jerome Boots Ennis fight. That was a very fun. And even my wife talked to me about that. She was like, that was very fun because, it was like you go into the corner and you see that you're reading the fight and then you're like, all right, he's going to have to, and where you really did it. I feel like you did it in the Jihad Tucker Cedueno. That's the one that was really like technical and cerebral as you were going in between the rounds and like you were breaking stuff down because I think Xander and Boots was more like, that wasn't hard to read. That was kind of like what it was, right? Except for that one moment in the third round. But that's Jihad Tucker, Yuri Cedeño fight. It was real like round by round by round by round. I love stuff like that because I learned and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because it can't nobody read it better than somebody who's doing it. You know what I mean? You do it.
That was a technical matchup, no matter how people wanted to look at it. And I think a lot of different people look at stuff differently. But for me, being in corners, dealing with fighters, amateur pro level, I'm starting to see a lot of judges understanding the concept of ring generalship can also be going backwards. You can be determining what's going on, even if you're the one going backwards, depending on how you control the ring. And I think that's what Jihad Tucker did excellently. He had ring generalship going backwards.
He went backwards, but he was so clean with it. He was a cleaner puncher the whole fight. He was the cleaner puncher. The more he had more control. He took all his opportunities. Cedeño was like the more menacing character in the ring. He was more menacing because he was always like Jason stalking. It felt like any moment he was going to explode and do something crazy. And I felt like Jihad felt it as well. Like Jihad felt like I need to be on my game because any moment he could take, he's going to try to hurt me, and he can't hurt me. He's wound up tight. I could tell he wants to let his hands go and hurt me, but I can't do that. It seemed like Jihad was strategically like when Cedeño thought he was going to let it go, Jihad would let it go. Like, no, nah, bro. Reese, and then he'd get off the line and be like, you got to figure it out again, bro. Now you got to figure it out again, bro. You know what I mean? You got to work your way in there again. He did a great job, man. I think 160 is got a real lit dog of a fighter in Jihad Tucker. I saw the interview with Jalil last night on Cigar Talk. I saw the replay. Cigar Talk I love going on there talking to Najee, man. Najee's always such a refreshing. He's articulate. You know what I'm saying? I like articulate people, but he's still real. He's on the street level because he got that music thing he doing with Sony and everything like that. So he always does such a good job at those interviews, man. I learned a lot from watching him. But I saw how Jalil reacted to the idea of him and Jihad seeing each other at some point. And I could see Jalil was really excited when Najee brought it up. Jalil was like, bro, we already talked about it, man. We already talked about it. Like, we want to do that. So now in the back of my mind, it's a fight I really want to see. Like 2 years, 3 years, whenever it happens, I'm really anticipating that fight because I see how much Jalil's excited about it, and I see what Jihad did. What do you think about that fight? Just right now, just speaking off the strength of what you saw from Jihad on Saturday, what you saw from him on Saturday, and what you know working with your son. What do you think about that fight?
I think even before that fight, I've seen Jihad. My son and Jihad have sparred a lot. Jihad Tucker is a live dog under all circumstances. You can't play with Jihad Tucker. If you hurt him, you got to finish him because he recovers so fast and so well, and he never stops thinking. That's the thing with him. I know you cannot go in there with the Terminator mentality and going to run through him. You almost have to. A fight with Jihad Tucker is going to come down to who can establish ring generalship. Because if you can make him come out of his shell and have to come forward, then I think that plays in your hand. But if you have to chase him all night in the sense of he's dictating the pace of the fight, the style of the fight, Jihad can beat anybody. You know, I think that fight to me was close because I know both guys. I've sparred with both guys. In the future, I can't not see Jalil fighting both guys. but each one of them has a distinct way that they're going to do something and a distinct way that you have to attack it. That's why I say that's the professionalism level. When you can't just go out there and be you, just you, with no wrinkles, because they have wrinkles. And I think that's the part that I look forward to. The 160 division, people say it's weak right now. I actually think it's young. It's a lot of youth in that division, and it's a lot of youth that don't mind fighting each other. And when Xander Zayas goes to 160, which I'm anticipating he will, he's only going to make the pot sweeter. Xander Zayas, Jahad Tucker, Vito Milnicki, Troy Isley, Amari Jones, all those guys are in the same age range. All those guys, they're between 23, I think one might be 22. So I'll say 22 and 26 and a half, 27. They're all in that range. And I think at any point in time, any of them will say, you can get it. And they'll give it to each other. If, in my opinion, based on the trajectory, the age, the experience level, that's the king division. That's the division that will produce kings because they're going to fight each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one I'm looking at, that division. I could see, like, we handle our business the way we're supposed to. I wouldn't be opposed to a Vito Milnicki fight, a Troy Isley fight, an Amari Jones fight, a Jahad Tucker fight. I wouldn't be opposed to any of those. Those are the fights that people should be looking forward to over the next 10 years of boxing.
How is Jaleel? Like, Jaleel is super, like, this has got to be the most comfortable he's been in his career. Is he chilled on the grove? Like, is 160, does 160 feel like he's found a home? Like, is he like 168 in 2 years? You know what I'm saying? A year and a half. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you feel about him at 160?
I think he's here.
Yeah, he looks settled into me. He looks like this is him. 160 seems to be a solid, I'm going to campaign here. I'm going to do my thing in this division. Is that how you feel about this at 160 for him?
I think unless God gives him a growth spurt, and I always say when these kids are under 27, God can pluck the sky and they'll grow again. But if that doesn't happen, I can see Jaleel being here till he's maybe 28 years old. And in that time period, I can see some great for all of them. You know, I just think if Carlos Adames is gone, Eslande Lara, say he moves up or he retires, Yoeli Hernandez, if you take those three out of the mix, the rest of these guys are super young. They're really super young. And to me, right now, one of the biggest players in that division, I've liked them for years, is Jose Ramos Jr. I think when you look at it, he has a lot of experience.
I like him, but
guys.
He's not doing what he was doing at 154 or 160 for me yet. Like, it's like, I don't know. I'm waiting on him. I'm still waiting on him because at 154, well, 160, I feel like Jesus Ramos just ain't arrived yet. How do you feel about that? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's like he's not there yet.
I think in comparison to the rest of the youth in the division, he is, because by far he's fought the better caliber of guys.
Facts.
Let's say if we look at each one of them, my son and all them included, they've all fought 5 guys. Jose Ramos has fought the higher quality of guys. So maybe that doesn't tend towards the knockout compared to the rest of them who haven't fought that caliber of guy. I think that's what it is, where we get the oohs and ahs from the rest of them because they haven't fought the championship level guys yet, whereas he has. And on the other hand, I look at each one of them broke down, and that's why I put Ramos so high for me, because it would be Ramos, then it would be Xander Zayas, because Xander Zayas been in there with Jaron Ennis. And then after that, if my son beats Sergey Derevchenko on the 26th, he would have the biggest name on the ledger compared to the rest of the guys. So when you just look at the way the ledgers play out and not just look at the way the numbers play out, all of these guys are stepping in hot water right now. They're all stepping in boiling water. Not bath water, boiling water.
Boiling water. Yeah, not nothing comfortable and cozy. I agree with you. There's a development energy about 160. that's there with the youth. Everybody's developing. And like I told Jaleel before, we talked about it the last time we interviewed him on here. Zuffa's 160 program, and I'm gonna call it a program, right? Because that's how I look at it. Like I look at it like a program. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if you when your son was younger, you might want to send him to a school that had a better football program, because you know how he'd be developing. You know, he might have been in one school, but you see he was so good, you like, you know what? I'm gonna move him into that school because the program is better and it's gonna make him better. It feels like the Zuffa 160 program is set up to more develop in this conversation of developing. This seems to be like an ace in the back pocket of Jaleel, that he's in a division that's going to develop him more aggressively than the traditional space. They don't seem to have the development opportunity like Jaleel does. Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
No, what you're saying make 100% sense. It's like what you would compare, like if I have a 15-year-old phenom, instead of me sending him to college per se, I'm gonna send him to play in the Euro League, because he's gonna play pro ball against men. And then by the time he's 20, 21, he's gonna be a potential #1 pick in the NBA draft, because they're looking at, he took the bumps and bruises at a man level, where these are high school kids on the AAU circuit who might have jumped straight from high school to the league and haven't had that part of where they're doing strength and conditioning, building the body. So yeah, it makes sense. I would say this: you could take a well-developed top-ranked guy, and Top Rank is the best at developing guys.
Right.
And he's 19-0 because they develop what they call their version of what a champion should look like. But then Zuffa takes their guy, and he's 17-3. When they compare them up, that Zuffa guy's probably been in a little more conflict against a little higher quality guy, so where he's more battle tested. Like the Top Rank armor is gonna look parade good, but that Zuffa armor is gonna look war ready. That's the thing I see with the Zuffa compared to others. Not that theirs is wrong, but this one I think has forgiveness to it. Zuffa has forgiveness. Hey kids, you took a loss, but you fought hard. We're gonna get you back in another fight. You take 2 or 3 wins. Now we're gonna see if we can step you up again within our in-house program. And then you took another loss. But 2 fights later, they step you up a 3rd time, you get to win. Now they're saying you're where we think you should be. Now they go barking at the other dogs, saying, hey, I think my dog is ready.
Right. And he's just gonna be a more leathery, battle tested, you know what I mean, fighter. He's just gonna be a different type of fighter, you know what I'm saying, who's seen way better opposition than you. The on paper it looks nice that you're undefeated, but this guy right here has actually seen the worst of the worst, and he's been developed. I think that's going to happen, man. I just think that's what's happening out of the 160 division. That division is going to be interesting, man, because now you got Xander getting ready to move up there. You're going to expect Jerron to follow him eventually once he finished playing around at 154 and getting what he needs to get together, when, you know, getting those belts and unified and doing everything he can do there. 160 just looks like in a year to 2 years from now, it's going to be the glamour division. It's going to be the division that's going to be, you know, the division of boxing. You know what I'm saying?
I think Boots has a strong hold on 54 right now, but just doesn't have all the belts. I think it's going to take at least, in my opinion, I think it's going to take at least 2 years before he gets that undisputed status or gets that opportunity to become undisputed. I think it's going to take 2 years. I think he has the physical maintenance to be able to stay there and do that. But that gives time for the 160 division to actually whip up. It's the eggs are cracked. You whip it up,
timing,
smooth texture.
But by the time he gets up there, he's going some.
We got a guy.
Partners.
Yeah. You got a guy. There is a guy, but the belts may not be unified. It might not be an undisputed guy. It might not be a ring champion yet, but you got 5 or 6 guys that on any day could be that guy. Now he has a plethora, and he may be the king of boxing at that point. So now he comes to a division with a lot of hungry young champions saying, I want my chance at you, as opposed to him having to chase guys.
And he brings the paydays, right? He develops and becomes such a big star.
He's the cash cow.
160 starts to get big paydays. Whoever gets to be across the ring from him gets the biggest paydays. Man.
Hey, but you got to look at Xander. I'm gonna say this. After his performance, and I respect Xander's performance, him moving up to 60 and him still having the looks, the name, the everything, he may be the guy coming in that's the cash cow for the young dudes at 160. He may be that guy that gives that youth that shot in the arm, where that division, as they're young, starts to get respectable checks, starts to get more notoriety. Just think, Turk Al-Sheikh was talking about he wants to have a conference and get all these promoters together. We got to make the best fights. DAZN is making great fights now that they have all of those guys lined up. Don't be surprised if this crop of guys, with the mindset that they have because they're so young, don't be surprised if they're eager to fight each other, win, lose, or draw, and that round robin system could produce that dog you're talking about that takes on Jaron Ennis in 2 years.
Yeah, shout out. You gotta give respect to the presence of Zuffa and the presence of Turkey, man. Really, the presence of Turkey, because everything just kind of like he's like the roots in the ground, right? Like he's the roots, and the fruit is Zuffa and the zone bringing all these fighters in.
Yeah.
I mean, all these boxing. You know, that's the fruit on the tree you're seeing. The zone got all the networks. You know, I mean, all the boxing promoters under one network. Zuffa's doing what they're doing. Netflix is in the game. Like, we want to be part of this. TNT's like, we want to be part of it. We're coming, but that's all coming from the fruit of the tree that Turkey's on. Like, he's made it to where these guys have to bring their A game to compete. And that's the free market. That's the thing I love about the free market. The free market does that, because you might have a restaurant on the block, coach, that you go to, but when 3-4 more open up, he might not see you like you did. You might be going to that restaurant twice a week, and all of a sudden they're like, what Bernard at? He ain't been here in like 2 weeks. Bernard like, I ain't gonna lie, them cheesesteaks over there, that news bar, they crazy, brother. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I've been what? You been going over there? Hey, you know I love you. I come over here when I can, but they killing it over there. And all of a sudden that menu change up. Where you used to go, all of a sudden that menu, you need to try the cheese fries. Since when y'all started doing cheese fries? We've been wanting to do cheese fries. You know, we just been like, you've been wanting to do cheese fries? All right, bro, we'll go with that. I'll take an order of cheese fries, bro. All right, you've been wanting to do it. I hear you. You know, and that's what Turkey. Right?
Hey, Clay, you got to look at this too now. The young crop, including my son, either they're so young and naive, or they're so young and stupid, they're willing to fight each other now. They're now look at when Devin Haney fought Brian Norman Jr. Brian Norman Jr. was the young guy. Devin Haney, he's not old, but he's aged. He's aged because he has experience.
He's like Canelo a little bit, right? Like young, but
right. Yes,
right?
That's perfect example. He fought Brian Norman. Brian Norman said, "Hey, let me see what happens." We have Abdullah Mason jumped out there to get a belt. We have Xander Zayas took back-to-back fights to get himself opportunity for a belt. We got Bam Rodriguez. We have so many young guys that for matter they nuts all dropped at the same time, and then they think they run the yard. And it's hey, the old yard that had all the Twitter wrestlers, all the fighters who wrestle on Twitter.
Mad right now.
The old yard had fences in between, so we go to the fence and we bark, and people say, "Man, if they ever get through the fence, that's gonna be a fight." This new yard has no fences in between,
right?
And all of them drop their nuts on the same day, and they're all saying, "Let's fight." I told Reyes to tell you before the Xander fight, I told him, win, lose, or draw, Xander at 160, I would still love my son to lock horns with him, because I see that they're chasing greatness. In order to chase greatness, you have to be willing to fall. And this generation of kids is willing to fall. That generation before, they caught the back end of the Mayweather era. So they're still mentally locked into what my record means as long as there's an O. These young fighters, they caught the Bud Crawford era. Take chances. Take chances.
That, Coach.
And that's the part that I love. That's the part that I love. That's the part that's going to make boxing great again, because these kids got egos. Jalil and Jahai, they boys. But
Right.
Jalil and Jahai always talking about, one of y'all get a belt, the other one should get a chance without having to scream for it. Yuri, we spar with Yuri, and we say, hey, man, we can't wait till we fight. That's going to be a bomb burner. And he was like, yeah, these dudes talking about actively fighting each other while they're helping each other get ready for fights.
For each other.
Yes. If look here. If Xander was fighting one of the fighters, I don't know Amari Jones. He's fighting Amari Jones, and they call and say, hey, can we get you to come in camp? Damn right we'll come in camp. And we're going to try and do what we got to do to help you win. But we telling you during camp, don't act special when it's my turn. And in return, he's saying, don't turn it down when I offer it to you. That's the type of mentality that this generation has.
Type of conversation, Coach. When he's
the mentality
back at you like, yeah, make sure you don't turn it down. Don't waste my time, bro. You talking about don't act new. You don't act new because it's coming your way. Because I plan on fighting.
And I'm gonna tell you some good stuff. When we were at Xander and my son told me to stop. He said, hey, Dad, Xander has a fight scheduled. Stop. Don't say anything else about it. I said, cool, because you the boss. But Xander, behind closed doors with people we both know, he was saying, when we get in the ring, I'm going to fuck you up. And Jalil was like, let's get in the ring soon. Let's get in the ring soon. In that same breath, if they call us, we know his manager, he'd call us, hey, can we get you to come for sparring? Hey, why not? Why not? Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez were sparring with each other before they fought. These are not gangs. These are businessmen whose business happens to be violence.
I love it. I love it, Coach. I really do, man. Hold on a second here, man. Big Boss in the building with the $2 says, always real and respectful. Salute the panel. Always, man. And I hope I think we do. I ain't gonna lie. I think we set a precedent when it comes to this boxing talk, this conversation that we always bring up on this panel, man. This is the way it goes, man. Not all that yelling back and forth. And go ahead, Angel. My bad. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, apparently not good enough to get likes because these MFers, man. These
man, guys,
hit the likes up.
I know y'all all caught up and mesmerized by the conversation, and you just enjoying yourself. But hit the like button, support the channel, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all you guys, but I know I always tell you, Angelo, right at the end, it goes up like 40 likes, 30 likes. Like,
man,
right,
they're better.
Everybody right at the end goes, oh yeah, I forgot to hit the like button. All of a sudden, it just goes up. They always show up when it's all said and done. That's a fact. So far, you know what I mean? They've always showed up, but definitely do it now.
Right. Now,
hey, Clay, I know I talk shit with you. My bad. I know I talk shit with you, Clay, about fighters and building up and nothing. But I must say, I respect personally as a coach, manager of a fighter, the way that you don't put a fighter down when he loses. That's part of the fucking game. You don't put him down. You say, hey, this guy can come back and do something else. One loss doesn't define you. I respect that because that is the part that keeps some of these fighters, damn fans and all that, it keeps some of these fighters mentally in the game because one loss didn't destroy you like it did with the Mayweather era.
Absolutely.
No, we definitely push that over here, and we've had private conversations, and you know, I've had private conversations with Angelo and with, you know what I'm saying, with Ray Davis, and that's this platform was created because I saw I put a lot of the blame of where boxing not is today, because right now it's going in a great way, but when I first started this channel, I felt like our community did our fighters the biggest disservice in the world. I feel like the bickering and the fighting and the knocking and the hate videos and the, you know what I mean, on the fighters. I was like, you destroyed our connection with the fighters. The fighters became very allergic to us. Like they don't want nothing to do with us, and I wouldn't want nothing to do with us either, man, because we don't give them space to challenge themselves with the worst case scenario being okay with us, right? In other words, if you're going to ask a fight, if I ask Terrence Crawford to go and fight Canelo Alvarez, right? I'm asking him to do something where he can lose, clearly. You know what I'm saying? He can lose. But I don't want him feeling like, man, if I lose, the whole world going to go against me. I want the fans to understand that if we're going to ask these fighters to put their O's on the line, then we need to be right there ready to pick them up when they fail. If they fall, we got to be right there to be like, you know what? Crazy. I saw Dave Allen in the UK, bro, get his ass beat pillar to post by Philip Bergovich. And I watched the whole crowd go, there's only one David Allen. There's only one. I watched the whole UK crowd lose their mind. And I was like, if you would have came in and not seen the fight, coach, if you didn't see the fight happen and you just came in and you'd be like, what's going on here? You'd have thought David Allen won that fight. Right? You would have thought he won that fight. And he got beat, not in a competitive fight, coach. It wasn't competitive. Angelo, how was that fight between Philip Bergovich and Dave Allen?
No, it was terrible. I mean, yeah, Philip Bergovich was beating the brakes off of him. But to your point, though, Coach Hackett, it's and you and I always talk about all this stuff all the time, but that only in the UK, those guys, maybe because they're they're in a smaller base than America, but they all spar and help each other from amateurs to pros, because you're not going to take a trip to India to go get sparring. You know what I mean? So, and then they all eventually end up fighting each other, kind of like what's happening with Abdullah Mason and Albert Bell right now, right? But, Coach, what you're talking about with these younger guys, the Jalils, the Yuri Cedeno, and I know the people that Jalil's sparring, obviously, and all these guys are talking with each other and are actually talking about fighting each other. They're bringing that UK attitude, because I don't even want to call it a UK attitude. That's how it used to be back in the 70s and in the 80s. That's exactly how it used to be. It's just when the Mayweather era thing happened, then like, shout out to Shakur. And I respect Shakur. Like, when you and I talk about Shakur, Coach Hackett, you call him Bobby Fischer, right? Like,
yeah, I call Shawty Bobby Fischer.
Yeah, and you guys know, like what do I always say, Clay? We hold everybody accountable. Believe me, I'll be the first to hold Zuffa accountable the minute they fuck up. But so far, so good. So I can't hold them accountable for good things. I mean, I can't hold them accountable for good things, which is why it always seems like I'm pushing Zuffa. But, find out something wrong that they've done so far. So, like, Shakur, I know he's rage baiting, but it annoys people a lot that it's like, oh, but I'm not gonna fight Keyshawn, because we're friends. Or it actually does annoy a lot of people. And I know with Dana, he doesn't fuck with that. You know what I mean? Like, that's not his thing. He wants the fans to speak. He wants the fans to be the sanctioning body. And if Keyshawn and Shakur end up in Zuffa, let's say, they'll probably have to fight at some point. Because it's just the way it works. So shout out to all the youngsters, the 160 that you're talking about, the 25 and unders, right? All of these guys they're cool with each other. They want to help each other, but then they want to fight each other. And hopefully that starts the new trend that you keep talking about.
Yeah. I think that's where boxing is going.
No doubt. So, Coach, on this undercard here, we talked about Abdullah Mason, but then we got somebody from the DMV area in Scooter Davis. Any are you familiar with him at all? You in any type of like
I'm very familiar with him. Very familiar with him, very familiar with his family. I think they did and put the work in to get him to where he is. Shout out to him. Hope he does very well on this fight. I think he's jumping into the big boy water now. He's with the major promoter. Congrats on signing with the major. But part that comes with signing with a major, the level of competition shoots to the moon. It shoots to the moon. Whether you're in a 4-rounder, 6-rounder, 8-rounder, 10-rounder, 12-rounder, just the level changes. And I think the young man has the ability to grow with the level changes. I look forward to seeing how his trajectory grows and wish him nothing but the best. He comes from a great family, very supportive family, and I think he has a lot of good future in him. And I hope everything works the way it should work out. I've been saying for quite a while, to get DC back to where it used to be at one time, go to the 80s, early 90s. DC had like 6 champions, different weight classes. But you could go to, if you're familiar with DC, you could go to Finley's Boxing Gym. You can go to House of Champions Round 1, and you could see any of those guys in there sparring each other. And some of the best sparring I saw was when those dudes really didn't like each other. Like their camps were not friends. Those were the ones, the days you like, oh man, I heard Lil Gary and Chop Chop gonna be spawned. I heard Keith Holmes and William Choppy gonna be spawned. Those were the days people wanted to go up there and see, because you saw pay-per-view work in preparation to get there. And because you saw that, when it came fight night, you knew how sharp those knives were, because the best guy to spar, and I'm a firm believer, the best guy to spar is the guy that dislikes you the most. That's the, and especially if he got a skill set, I will be the first to call his coach. I know y'all don't like us, and quite honestly, we don't like you, but we need that work, and we're in the same city. One of us get there, let's fight for the bag, but until then, let's help each other get to the bag.
Right. Let's get the best out of each other, because your guy's gonna get the best out of himself as well. You know what I mean? For sure. Scooter is definitely stepping into the big league. I think he's headlining this prelim card too. He's headlining it. So Top Rank is definitely got their eyes focused on their next generation of fighters stepping up, and Scooter looks like he's in position to do that. My guy Shushu on there, man. I'm looking forward to see Shushu do his thing on there as well, man. That's my guy, bro.
That's my guy. Shushu, my guy.
Yo, he is, man.
My guy.
He's a guy who I give, and I've spoken to him one time, right? But I've given him the same credit I've given Xander as far as great ambassadors of the sport. You know what I'm saying? Like great ambassadors, like the way Xander handled his loss. Great ambassador. No excuses, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Just gonna say the right thing, carry it the right way, and set an example of how you're high on your victory, but you're graceful in your defeat. You handle yourself with professionalism, right? You deliver the message and you allow the other guy to get all the flowers. No. Wouldn't even say he's going to 160. I'm not even doing that either. It's his, you know what I mean? It's his victory. It's not about me. I stayed too long, and I'm going to 160. Now I don't know what I'm going to do. I might come back to 154. That guy beat the best version of me. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it goes.
I like that. I respect it.
Drawing board. You know what I mean? I
respect that. I respected that out of Xander more than anything. He ain't present no excuse. You know, him and my son resemble like that. When my son lost to Jose Roman,
that's one of the biggest.
I was pissed. I wanted to say my son was like, nah.
Just off the record, right? Without Jalil here, he got robbed. He didn't lose that fight.
Man, hey, look, he
I
wouldn't want to hear
on the camera, coach.
He didn't lose that fight, Sam. I saw the fight.
Bro. Man, I don't even want to talk about it, because me and him still argue, and he be like, what the record book say? I said, it said lost, but he said ain't no but except for on people's backs. He was like, I don't want to hear it. I lost.
I respect that out of him.
That makes me so mad.
But that's some man shit though. You know why? Because you know what? All you can do is clean it up and keep moving forward. You keep dwelling on that coach.
And that's what I saw out of Xander.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I saw out of Xander. Xander stood up like a man. Ask me whatever you gonna ask me. I have no excuse. Tonight he was the guy crowned a new king. I respect that kid for that. You can't.
Yeah, he
can't dog that kid for that.
He's like, he the king of 154 now. He said it. He said he the king of 154 now, and he got to go get those other belts, man. He the king of 154. I was like, damn, Xander. All right.
The two things I'll say about that too, Coach Hackett, is, you know, when I've had my private conversations with Jalil, he always stands on that there ain't no thing as a robbery, right? They don't got guns, they don't got knives. Angelo, laws, wins a win. And just like Ray Davis said, it makes you really respect him because he's so young with the mentality. The other thing is, when I am hard on people like Virgil Ortiz and Fundura, and then you guys start calling this channel a Xander shot channel, I'm talking to the chat and everybody. Fact of the matter is, Xander did what he did. He stepped up. Now we got a new king. What Virgil doing? Yeah, that's right. All of you quiet. What Fundura do? He dropped the belt because he wanted to avoid a Xander fight. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. But if you say you're about it, then be about it, right? Like I'd rather put my fandom on someone like a Jalil Hackett, because Jalil will get a choice and he'll be like, who's the hardest one? That's the one I want. Those are the fighters I want to rock with, because Even if they lose, I'm gonna rock with them, right? Xander, I respect them more now. Clay respects him more now. Ray Davis respects him more now.
Right.
You respect him more now, Coach Hackett, right? Like, because now you're
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I'm not jumping on that boxing narrative that the boy quit. The boy didn't quit
No,
because
he
if he
quit.
quit, he could have just walked out without taking no interview. The kid lost a fight.
He could have quit when he caught that
That's all
uppercut
that
in the
happened.
fifth.
Hey, when he caught the
He could've
uppercut,
knocked
if
him
he
out.
was looking for a respectable way out, he should have stayed down right then, and
Right.
nobody had a problem with it.
Faulted him. Nobody would have faulted him.
In his psyche, after that, he still got up thinking he could win. He got up thinking he could win.
And
So
he
I
got
can't
up
knock
and fought the hell
knocking
out
that
of
kid.
Boots. He fought him. He sat up and then
Man.
took them beans and he was swinging back. It's not like he got on his bicycle or he
Nah.
went right back in the fire like, nah, give me some more. You ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't built like that to kill me, bro. You think you got me?
And
You
man,
ain't
my
got me.
son-
We gonna fight some more. Beat on me some more if you think you bad.
Man, my son said, Dad, you a coach, and I see all these other coaches saying their thing. I've been in there with Boots. He cracking. If you ain't feeling that shit, don't tell me what I did unless you gonna he said, let them hit you. He said, any coach that think he quit, he said, I want them to let Boots hit them with just one body shot the same way, and let me see you not could get off your knee. He was like, man, I'm not going for that. He said, y'all ain't taking that power that boy throw. He was like, we taking the bruises. So I respect that. Kids respect that. Jalil stood up for Shorty. Like he stood up for him like, nah, much respect to him. So I respect who my son respect. He created the respect with that. That's where you got to get a respect to. Xander did not quit. They can say what they want. Any of these legends, shout out to being a legend, but we just agree to disagree because the boy, I'm not putting quitter on him. I'm saying he fought a great fight and he gave everything he had.
Yeah.
He don't have to lose. He don't have to lose one of his brain vessels for y'all to say that was great. He went on his shield. He did.
Because all y'all gonna say he was stupid later, right, Coach? All y'all gonna say he was dumb if he would have got up and fought until he went unconscious. You'd be like, boy, that boy dumb as hell. He should have. Why the hell did he?
100%. He's a fool. I would say his corner should be the motherfucker suspended for letting him take an ass whooping. Like, that's the type of stuff you hear in the aftermath. I had a fighter fight Magamall, and my fighter lost. 2 fights later, I watched Magamall get his brains beat loose, and the man is a vegetable. Nobody talks about him now. They do not love you after you're worthless to them.
Yep.
I shout his team out. I told Reyes, if I was in charge of Xander, I'm telling him, take a new cell phone, go to Bali, and'll see you in 2 months. We got the money. I'll see you in 2 months. Go to Bali. I'll see you in 2 months.
Don't even let this social media get at you. Don't even study this.
Go to an island with no internet. I don't want you thinking about whoever your best 10 friends and your girl is. Y'all go there, and all I want you to do is think about how you changed your family's financial life, enjoy yourself, and then come back home, and we'll get back to the grind. Because people are shameless. I told Reyes, the first gentleman that was going to fight Boots when he had his homecoming with Matchroom, we were the co-main event when they switched opponents. I looked at the history of that man. His dad committed suicide because he felt he let his son down in boxing. Then his son felt like, I let my dad down, and he attempted suicide. Motherfuckers don't know how this shit fuck with your psyche as a father coach.
Yeah, Cody Crowley.
Yeah, Cody Crowley.
Right. I remember that story. Cody Crowley.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't remember his name, but that shit hit me because it's like, man, I've been there. I know when you feel like you let your kid down, and you feel like you let him down because you didn't let some manager come stick a dick in your kid and take 50% of his goddamn money talking about I can move him. I'm gonna make you rich, but me popular. How about letting the kid be rich? Even Chuck Berry didn't go for that shit.
Yeah.
You know, so I respect the game. Xander's mom wrote a letter. Do people not understand that woman in tears watching her son fight, not that fight, but every goddamn time, because she don't know if this time could be the bad time?
Right.
And you motherfuckers running around here talking about somebody quit. What if he got beat to death? What do you tell his mother? Because you motherfuckers ain't gonna go say shit to his mama. You ain't gonna say shit to his mama.
You won't say shit to his mama, and you'll move on. And not only will you not say shit to his mama, but you'll talk him down even more because you'll be like, "What the hell did he stay in there for? He shouldn't have." You'll talk crazy on the back end of it. So yeah, man, yeah, Xander quitting is crazy. It's crazy in every aspect, and that, you know, that's why I sit here and I do what I do when I sit here and I make sure I give him his respect, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna give him his respect. I don't care, bro. He got his ass whooped for us, bro. We asked him to challenge himself and dare to be great and fight the biggest fights, bro. Nah, bro, he don't get to get a beating like that, and all of a sudden he dumb and he trash and he this and he that. Nah, bro, that's not how that works, because now the next fighters are gonna be like, "That what do you think you're doing? You're cutting your nose to spite your own face as a boxing fan." Now the next fighter gonna sit there and do what Sebastian Fundora doing. You know what I'm saying? He gonna hide up on behind that safe fence. He gonna fight them weak ass fights, and he gonna look for old people to beat up. He gonna look for hopefully Errol, you know what I'm saying, win so he can get him, or when Jamel, I'm gonna take on Keith Thurman. Yeah. The guy who fought twice in 5 years. He ain't gonna fight Xander Zayas. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna fight Boots Ennis. He ain't gonna fight those fights because he knows on the back end of a loss, his career's over.
Yeah, so I shout out to those guys, man. I respect this next generation. I can't wait to see them from heavyweight on down. You all, BVO, some of these other podcasters talk about guys that we don't know of yet, and they're young and they doing their thing. Man, them the ones I want to see. I want to see all of them go to Zuffa, where they get what they deserve. Not that, and people think I talk about financially. Not talking about financially. Get what they deserve to where they have a Paramount showing them all over the place. Where the guy who fights a 4-rounder, he gets seen just as much as the guy that's fighting the main event. There is no bad slot. There's no bad slot on a Zuffa card because the whole card is on television.
Right. No, that's a fact. And yeah, no, Coach Hackett, I'm going to pass the baton to you as the coach of the program because I do have to go. Hey, guys, mental health, very important. So, you know, I got to do my thing right now, Clay, with my therapist. But, guys, this Saturday, we're calling it, right, Clay? We're doing a Saturday.
Come on, man. Stop, man. Come on, bro.
All right. Maybe Coach Hackett will join us on that one, too. So
yeah, man. Definitely.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
All right, my guy. All right, Jello. No doubt, man. Talk to you soon, brother. Yeah, man. It is what it is, man. The sport is a great sport. It's about time. We're gonna wrap it up soon anyway. Terrence Crawford returns into boxing. You heard about that, right? He's back, but he's not back, but he's back.
hey, I take Bud however I could get him, brother. I take Bud however I could get him.
Bud is back, man. He's back,
man. Hey, I told you that's what you gonna do.
Hey, man, I had the office conversation because, you know, at my office, everybody love boxing. And in a fictional, beautiful world, I would love to see Manny Pacquiao and Floyd fight one more time. I do think they owe us one more. And if that happened, I would like a door-closing fight that only they could give us. Bud Crawford, Floyd Mayweather, to see who really is the TBE. And that title can never be held again because both of them would be out of boxing after that. So they would have to start something new. But that would be my fictional way to end the next year and a half of boxing. Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, and then Floyd and Bud Crawford hosting the Riyadh card of all Riyadh cards, fighting each other for the TBE belt.
That would be nice, but I ain't gonna lie to you, man. The fight is Bud and Boots, man. That is the fight, man. But I know it will never happen. But that's the fight, man. I
just don't think it generates and I hate to say it, not fandom, but the financial part, like a Mayweather versus Crawford. It's just the name recognition of Mayweather Crawford and that TBE, knowing that neither one of them will fight again after that. That means TBE went to its resting place like it should with the two TBEs going at it.
Yeah.
I think Boots has too much future left. Boots got too much future left.
Especially considering Terrence Crawford arguably, maybe not even arguably, has changed the era, right? It was a Floyd Mayweather era. Terrence has officially came in and changed so much. These kids are following him, man. These Abdullah Masons, these Xander Zayases, these Shushu's, all these guys who are trying to challenge themselves and make the biggest fights. Bud has played such a role in that where people are willing to put their O's on the line. So it would be like a TBE, right? Because they both kind of impacting the sport, blazing the trail in their own way.
Turkey Island Sheik might hear this show and say, hey, that's kind of appealing. Let's get the Manny Pacquiao Floyd out the way on Netflix and let's get it done.
Beat Floyd's ass, beat his ass, and officially be like, now it's officially the Bud era.
TBE.
Nobody
Bud
got
slammed the door.
Yeah, nobody got O's. I took his O. That was the last O that had to go. Now we done cut the head off. Everybody got a L now. Everybody got one except for me.
The head is cut off the snake, and he retired. He said, "Now I'm gone. I'm gone." Really so yeah, that you see it, Clay. You see it.
Yeah. No,
hey, Mayweather versus Crawford for the TBE. I think that may be, what is that? The first $500 million payday fight.
Yup. Yeah. Why not, man? And somebody's O truly has to go.
Hey, I gotta be out there, brother. I gotta get in the gym with Jaleel. Hey, Ray, what's up? Clay, I love the spot. I love what y'all doing, man. Keep up the great work. Get in here so we can get ready for our 26. And I appreciate y'all.
Get ready. Be ready, coach.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Listen, man, good conversation. I'm sorry I didn't get my top 5 in. You know what I mean? I was in the chat listening.
They snuck that up on me, Ray.
I know they did.
I kind of want to take it back a little bit.
You can't. You put it on camera, bro. You know video never lie, Clay.
I shouldn't have even answered. I should have asked me that tomorrow. I should have got some time to think about it.
Right. Well, I had time to write it down. You know what I mean? So it's good. You should have stuck to the question when you said, you mean active or, you know what I mean, all time. You should have read with all time. It would have worked out for you better.
Yeah, all time is easier because I've thought about that.
Yeah.
Active right now is like, damn. Damn, there's so many of them, bro. There's so many of them. But I definitely got to switch out, though. I put Jerron. I took Abdullah out. I put Jerron in there. Shushu, you know how I am about Shushu, bro. That's my guy, bro. Shushu. I put Shakur in there. David Benavidez and Bam Rodriguez.
Now, I love that list. Listen, I switched it up a little bit. I do like your list. Obviously, you know who I got at the GOAT right now. I mean, he's not active, but he's always active. But I gotta celebrate the dude because we in the ring. He's a superstar, and we all love to see him fight. He's coming up on a fight this month. He's gonna be fighting in Australia, and that's Mr. Jamal Charlo. You know what I mean? As my number one. Then I got to go with Boots Ennis. Why? Because Boots Ennis is the phenom. Why not give the guy his praise? I always liked Boots. I always thought Boots was a great fighter. You know what I mean? I thought he had some things that are suspect, but that never is really, he never got hurt or anything like that where we seen him, okay, he going down except for the Xander fight, right? So he's always been one of my guys. I'm just not on the bandwagon with everybody else that think Boots is the guy. And of course, you know what I mean? Let me just make sure that my homie in the chat, mine, yours, here's this. It's Devin Haney, bro. Yes, it is Devin Haney. He's an exciting fighter to me. Yes, he's always looking for the smoke. I can't hate nobody that's always looking for the smoke. Last but fourth, I got O'Shaquie Foster, a guy I think is a pure boxing, just a mini version of Jamal Charlo. I love the style, love the skill set, and I have nothing to hold against him, bro. You know what I mean? He has a couple losses here and there in a robbery that counted, but you know what? The guy has shown that he is truly one of the best in the game. There is a tie here, Shakur and Shushu at the number 5 spot, because I love both of them and I can't pick one. So, yes, there is a tie. I have to give it a tie, and they share the spot there at number 5. Straight up.
No doubt, man. Listen, man, great fighters this year, man. And hopefully Devin gets his dream because he said he wanted to be active. He said he wants to fight 3 times a year. And I'm like, oh, that's what's up, bro. So that made me feel like he really is going to Zuffa.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Because he ain't fighting 3 times a year in this traditional space. I promise you. That ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? So he definitely got to be coming to Zuffa. Now, when I heard him say that, I'm like, oh, maybe he is going to Zuffa. I was like, maybe he is going to Zuffa because he ain't getting that in the traditional space. He ain't getting that. He'd be lucky if he fight twice in a year, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? He right now, as far as I'm concerned, he a 1 fighter a year fighter because nobody don't want to fight him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
facts.
He'd be lucky if he get 2. If he want 3 a year, he got to go to Zuffa, bro. That's the only way.
Absolutely. I agree. I think a lot of these guys gonna move and transition over there. And I think once they switch and make that shit a promotional company truly, and I think that's really going to be they're going to have two sides of Zuffa. They're going to have the building side, and then I think they're going to have the promotional side. And I think that promotional space is going to be mixed in. They're going to get all those licenses that the WBO talk about. They're going to get all these licenses if they're approved. Of course, there is some skepticism there. They may not approve them, even though they may apply for it. But once they get that done and they get that them sanction licenses, man, Zuffa may take over the world, bro.
We're gonna listen. They better, and they being the promoters, the other promoters better get their fighters active, man, and give us. They better get their fighters active, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. That inactivity is just not rocking out no more. It's over for that, man. I'm telling you, it's done for that. These fighters ain't trying to be inactive, bro, because you can't get them the paydays that the PBC was getting them so that they can sit down and not want to fight. They need to be active to get money. You know what I mean? These dudes ain't making those big bags no more like that without the activity. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely.
So
listen, man,
you gotta be able to make it happen. Facilitate it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, listen, man. I wish people stop hating on them. Because you know what's so funny? All these people watch Zuffa that say they don't like Zuffa, and I know they watch them because I be listening to some of these chats, Clay, and all they do is talk about the fights. How you know about the fights if you ain't watch it? And if you ain't watch it, you watch the replay, guess what? You paid attention. That makes sense. That's good for Zuffa. And damn, I sound like Angelo. Excuse me. All right, let's switch the subject. I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing. Listen, man.
You see my all this BS they did using Kerr name. If you really wanted to smoke, he would have relinquished. Oh, you talking about the Devin part? I think. Listen, I think the business of boxing, and that's and Coach Hackett. What he was talking about was so relevant, so important as far as this new generation of fighters willing to fight each other. As much as I like Shakur and I like Devin, they're still part of that same. The Devontae Tank David, they're part of that same era. They're part of that same era, man. They're priced out. You know what I'm saying? They're priced out. They're undefeated. They're not fighting each other. They're fighting. You know what I mean? It's all the same thing, man. I think they all want to, and I think that's what the Zuffa thing's about for Shakur. It's like, just let me be active and get money, man. You know what I mean? Damn all the politics. I just want to be active and get money, bro. I don't want to have to do nothing crazy to fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to do nothing stupid and crazy. I want to be able to campaign somewhere, get my wins, get all loss, whatever it is I'm going to get, and be there. I don't want to have to jump 2-3 weight classes or one weight class just to make a fight. Nah, you know what I mean? I don't want to have to do that. And even with Devin, you know what I mean? I'm sure he'll appreciate the activity, just to be able to be somewhere where, you know what I mean, the next fight is already getting worked on. The money's there. The arena's getting locked in. He's getting the respect he deserves. He's not getting blackballed. He has a home that is concerned with making him active. And I think a lot of these fighters are going to operate on that type of time. I think Richardson Hitchens is going to be active. I even think Edgar Berlanga is going to be active. You know what I'm saying? Right. Especially on the back end of a loss. They're going to have to be active to get it back, to get back in the conversation. You know what I'm saying? In the grace of the conversation, they're going to have to get back in the winning column. So they're all going to be active, man. I think boxing is getting ready to head into a nice golden era of boxing, man.
Oh, yeah.
You got to appreciate what the whole space
absolutely. And these guys are going to make the transition too. And guess what? Let them put on the show. Let them put on the show. Either they're going to close out or they're going to get with it. That's it. It is what it is.
Guys, it's about that time. We're about to hit that 3-hour mark. 75 people in the building. I put the link out there. Nobody hit the link, so I'm assuming we good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not even tripping. You know what I'm saying?
HLD ain't here.
Huh?
See, HLD ain't pop up today.
Hey, listen, man. I'm all good, man. I got stuff to do anyway.
Yeah.
I've had a long day. So salute to everybody in the building, man. I appreciate all the super chats, man. Hit the like button. Support the grind. Do that right now. There's 75 people in the building. There's only like 60 likes. That's crazy. There should be 100 likes in here. So if you haven't hit the likes, hit the like button. Support the grind, man. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. We're on our way to 5K. You know what I'm saying? That's the game plan. We're on our way to 5K. So subscribe to the channel.
Right.
Next one, man.
Yeah, man. King Kong Rumble. Hit the like button, bro. Same thing with you, Kenyatta Taylor, and Pugilist. Let's go.
No doubt, man. It's your boy Rain. It's your boy Ray Davis. Angelo was just on here before. Said ATP Combat Media. It's Read the Ring, man. At this point,
we out.
We out.
Gotta aim for the top. Hold up, yeah, I can never doubt myself, I know better. All of you critics be acting like you know better. Blowing the smoke, but I know when the dust settles that I'm in my element. It's evident that there's levels to the game. All of those dark nights I got then, breaking my back to make it out, got me feeling like rain. I ain't never need your help, I know you wishing me well. A penny for your thoughts, but seeing no change. I snap for the sun like Diddy. The riches got a mad ass son, I'm like Billy. I ain't never switch up, whole team with me. But known for my city like OAGZ. Set the pace as long as you finish. Consumers find a way inside your business. Babble if they try to dabble in it.